outside looking in, it looked a lot more rough around the edges than it actually felt. I feel like in the series, I felt I was pretty in control most of the time. Things we didn't expect, maybe just really like a run for our money, but other than that, I felt in control the whole time, and yeah, it felt smooth sailing. Everyone makes mistakes, but I think we're playing a game that is even better than before, and we're taking every game with lots of lessons, and we're definitely peaking at the right time. We're all individually showing up for sure. I don't really hear the fans too much, but when I did my clutch, I did hear them. It got me hyped, and yeah, always having a crowd, it makes me play even better.
Mesdames et messieurs, bonjour amis gamers, bienvenue sur la STC Arena pour cette troisième journée de l'eSport Valorant. Je suis voilà Lou et nous serons vos hosts.
Je m'appelle Lou.
Exactement.
Ouais, I'm cool with that. Listen, it's EWC. We expect it to be unpredictable. We expect the unexpected, and the last couple of days here in Valorant have delivered. I don't think many expected the lineup that we have here for our semis. What a few days it's been.
Yeah, especially having Vitality out this early, given that there were serious contestants for, you know, the club championship trophy, but you know, they're out already, so there's space to take.
Yeah, we're down now to the final four, and I don't want to jinx anything, but we have seen nothing but long, contested, banger series, and I expect more of the same today. Our final four teams, 2 of them will make it to the grand final tomorrow to have a crack at this bad boy.
Indeed, with us, you're always in for a treat. Donc, comme le disait Ian, on veut pas de jinx, mais à chaque
The only thing I do know is I'm definitely expecting a Neon. Neon has been so good clearing that elbow, taking care of the mains, and it feels like we're going to see something like that. But as the Agent Select jumps up on the screen here, we're going to see that Nongshim, they're actually keeping that breach online, Kukuka.
Yeah, they're keeping it online for the side of 100 Thieves. They've decided for something along the lines, very vanilla, very resembling of what they do also maps like Haven. Bang on that Omen. Asena's going to jump into the Phoenix. Timotina with that Neon that you were mentioning, Athena, and the value that is going to have to find, especially with the performance that Timotino had yesterday, with them starting on the attack. Ball is completely in their court, to be a surprise here.
I think for me, it's X-Ross not on the Phoenix. X-Ross going here with the fade. He was clutch in many of those rounds yesterday on a duelist, but will flip on over to fit the composition for Nongshim Red Force. But the big talking points, you guys hammered it home. It is Timotino and Danby, 2 of the 3 best left in the tournament. They're gonna go head to head in this first map, best of 3. 1 step closer to the finals with this map win as we send it on over to our casters for this matchup. Pacific versus Americas, Nongshim Red Force and 100 Thieves on the call. It's Tom and Mitchman.
Thank you, Deacon. It's time to kick this one off with 100 Thieves stepping down on that stage, but I was surprised to see or to hear that Nongshim, I think they might have gotten the louder cheer out of the 2.
Yeah, for sure. I think maybe they've won some people over. Maybe
a lot of Gentleman's fans.
Eliminating 1 or 2 people along the way might have helped them out. But I also want to talk a little bit about the veto going into this one. I came into today going, okay, both of these teams have a bit of a map that they're going to ban. Fracture for Nongshim, it went the way I expected. It's that Sunset that was the surprise. And I saw MBS, coach of 100 Thieves earlier, and he had a grin on his face. He took out the split. He knew this map was coming, and it seems like 100 Thieves have a plan. But if it was a trap, Nongshim have gone, I'll take your trap and I'll raise you because we think we can beat you on this map anyway.
Oh, different identities brought to the server here. Nongshim starting with the breach. You see the stun lined up and it's fired through already. Asuna not long for this world. They threw out a cage to try to help him, but there was no way back for him. And now 100 Thieves are sent scurrying, leaving this position with just Cryo holding it. Lots of traffic coming his way, but he hits hard and brings us back to a 3v3.
Yeah, it's left an isolated player on the other side as well that has to be dealt with. Ivy had a phenomenal performance yesterday and is going to need another one. It's a dink connected, but it's not quite a kill. That allows a route straight towards the B site and a post plant, which is actually going to be quite awkward for the defensive side because it's planted for their own spawn.
It's an excellent recovery by 100 Thieves. Cryo did the work outside of A. A formality on the trade, out of the damage. Time ticks away. Francis sees absolutely nothing. Normally, you're going to expect to have seen the spike by now, but like you said, that plant position for 100 Thieves, it gives them that forward position to hold from. An awkward fight here in the corner. Vora isolated. But they've got the time on their side now. That stuns bought them even more. A paranoia to delay, and I even get them out of the corner. Maybe not for Bang. He's going to be caught off. Timotino, the last man standing, but the clock by his side forced Francis on the defuse. It's a narrow margin, but a solid opening from 100 Thieves.
I'll be honest, I thought that Aftershock was going to be enough to win the round. Clearing both players from that awkward corner, forcing them into a wider position, and both of them being tagged low. But it is, again, some individual brilliance from Timotino. A man who is quickly rising up the rankings of how highly rated he will be. And for 100 Thieves, of course, a team that narrowly missed out on London.
I'm out of here.
Now look to leave their mark at EWC.
Deploying drone.
Well, this one's looking a little bit quicker. An open B site. Not really anything in terms of resistance, although saying that, Nongshim have rotated him very quick.
Gotta go.
Timotino's not looking to let Ivy out of that corner. Seemed to be a death sentence for Nongshim in the last round. Flash coming through. Asuna forced back by the Seas, but again for Nongshim, they don't have a lot to actually fight with. Like, they're dealing with that
Rockstar.
first burst of aggression, but they shouldn't win
Rockstar
most of the fights yet. They're trading. They're trading remarkably well to start. But to finish, it seems to be a different story. RB left alone, trying to add more of a cost to this round, but the price tag stays at 2.
Yeah, maybe a little bit more costly than they would have liked. A weapon or two that
Carmen bro, commentary சொல்லுங்க bro. Carmen bro.
That's about the minimum that the 100 Thieves would have been hoping for. And of course, Asuna getting a couple of those kills is always going to help out, get towards that Phoenix.
இல்ல இல்ல ஆமா.
The funny thing is, looking
அப்போ
at
சைஃபர் ஒரே
these
செட்டப் தான் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கான்.
sunset compositions, you'd kind of look at what 100
பார்க்கலாம்
Thieves are playing and
3
think,
ஆமா.
I'd quite like to see Nongshim
Speed.
playing that. Like that more aggressive double duelist.
ரெண்டு இனிஷியேட் இருக்காங்க ஆனா.
The
NSல ரெண்டு
potential
இனிஷியேட்
for
இருக்காங்க.
Exros back on the Phoenix. So I want to see what they get out of this composition that they can't get elsewhere.
மறுபடியும் சேம்
Well,
செட்டப்,
these
சேம்
aggressive
செட்டப்.
stun pushes
ஓகே, சேஃப் மேல
seems to be
இருக்காங்க.
a part of the plan. It hasn't caught too much in the other
ஃபர்ஸ்ட்
round.
ரவுண்ட்ல மட்டும் செம்மையா அடிச்சான் சேஃப்.
Yeah, I'm not sure that has much to do with the agent in play, but the breach of Francis finds one in the spam. Big pickup and a rolling thunder online now for Nongshim. It's going to be put through quite early on.
ஆல்ட் போட்டான் ப்ரீச் ஆல்ட்.
As the smokes fade, it's just a delay strategy. It's stopping the spike from going down until reinforcements are here. Job done with Cryo alone. Rifle in his hand. A sliver of health remaining and a firing squad around the corner. Nongshim have handled that aggression beautifully.
Yeah, this is going to be about damage now. How much cost can Cryo cause this Nongshim side, or are they going to come out of this one flawlessly? It's already an impressive start. They've enjoyed these deep pushes off the back of the utility of Francis, but he's also just right. And this was sort of the fun thing yesterday. I think in that third map in particular, we were watching Nongshim play, and a lot of it just didn't make sense. Like with how quickly how good they were with just individual shots through smoke. Okay, this one there was a reveal, but yesterday there weren't many reveals. They were just hitting those shots anyway.
அப்படியே ஸ்ட்ரீம் பார்த்து இது பார்த்து சொல்லுங்க bro. கார்வன் bro.
I truly believe there's no one in this tournament that can stop them.
ஆனா 100 Thieves வந்து கொஞ்சம் பொறுமையா தான் ப்ளே பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காங்க.
They had every read right. Even when players were in front of them, they would just cut straight through.
First one மட்டும் செம்மையா அடிச்சிட்டான்.
With his early aggression was a big feature. He tagged Asuna, but the ult is
அடிச்சிட்டான்.
activated.
ஆல்ட் போட்டான் ஃபீனிக்ஸ். ஆல்ட் அடிச்சு ஒரு கில் எடுக்க பார்க்கறான். கில் எடுக்க முடியல. க்ளோஸ் பண்ணிட்டாங்க. ரொட்டேட் அடிச்சிட்டாங்க. Midல இருந்து ரொட்டேட்டா இல்லாட்டி பேக் ஃபுல்லா ஸ்பான் ரொட்டேட்டா. ஓகே. சைபர் ட்ரிப்ஸ் எல்லாம் பீல இருக்கு நினைக்கிறேன். பீல இருக்கு சைபர் ட்ரிப்ஸ் எல்லாம். Nice trips.
Danger for Cryo, but okay, he's caught Ivy on the cross.
Exos has managed to rotate in and just he's now in trouble though. Revealed up at the back of the site. Dambi now making a move. This is very isolated from the defense, but they are happy to make these moves alone. They have the individual players that could just take over.
Oh, some nice.
Once again, maybe the best of them. He leaves
1v1. 1v2. Okay.
There are moments where you look at what Nongshim do and go, that is one man against the world. But when that one man is down, that is enough.
That's the best thing as well, is seeing him be challenged by a wide swing neon. That's going through the thing that so often buys him that first shot on his opponent. And he just domes him. He gets him right away. Like, oh no, bro, you're not gonna catch me with those tricks. Look at this. But it was unbelievable seeing him flick so quickly. Take that backside control, and that's the thing. Like you say, sometimes it looks like Nongshim make mistakes. And then you realize that they've just got the players who can thrive in those positions far more often than they should.
Yeah, it's the same sort of thing we talk about when we look at a team like Paperex. It's like from top to bottom, they have so much individual skill. And yeah, sure, sometimes they'll get punished for it, but more often than not, already Ivy playing back into his utility. They're up against an eco, so you think they need to be careful, but they don't care at all. Cryo left alone. He'd hoped for one. He'd for a second, but I don't think he's going to get anything from this round.
Translate agala. நான் பேசுறது கேக்குதா ஸ்டீவ்ல? சரி. பாருங்க.
He'd pray for Cryo left alone. He'd hope for He'd pray for a second, but I don't think he's going to get anything from this around him. And it's Francis that ends up with the final kill. And look at them. This is a team in a semi-final looking for a spot in the grand final of EWC, and they are giggling.
Yeah, momentum is a big factor. We saw that yesterday, heating up as the series went on, and they're coming off the back of that win. For
This is 11-3.
There's a lot to deal with, and you'd think coming in, it would be Ivy based on yesterday. It would be Dambi in those big rounds, or maybe X-Ross. Or hell, RB behind a smoke. Francis now the one leading the charge. That is the thing.
Like this.
Oh my goodness, Dambi's already in their spawn. He's running it down, and it's a taste of what 100 Thieves will have to deal with across this half. All-out aggression, and they've dealt with every facet of it here. Francis left on 5 HP. And that might put Nongshim in their place.
This is what we need to start seeing from 100 Thieves. Is, okay, we know they're going to press us. We know they're going to be aggressive. We need to be able to soak up that pressure. Otherwise, they will continue to do it in more and more aggressive ways. This time, even with the stun, Bang was able to soak up a lot of that pressure, and a solid round from him individually. A 3K to level up the scoreline and take this 3-3.
We were definitely in
that danger zone of seeing Nongshim run away.
Oh, yeah.
Think back to last map yesterday, you know exactly what that looks like.
Even split. They won, what was it? They won I think it was an eco round from Xros. And then Xros, I think from then onwards, they won 8 rounds in a row. Like, all it takes is for them to get into a rhythm, and it's going to be very important for 100 Thieves to deny that from happening. Because don't get me wrong, there's fantastic players on both sides of the stage. You don't end up in a semi-final without that being the case, but Danby is just running it down. He's been shut down again. And now the rest of the players have got to try and find a reaction. 100 Thieves have slowed their pace quite a bit, and I think that's helping them.
Of course, last round, we saw it in the replay. Bang was finding 2 shots through the smoke.
Satisfying.
They thought then, Nongshim, well, let's just go aggressive again. Let's fight them. Last time we got unlucky.
My God.
This time, we'll show them what we're made of. And Xros might not have been Danby as the tip of the spear, but the hilt just as deadly. Cryo.
He's in a good spot.
Looked like he's got a fantastic chance to backstab here. It's all going to come down to timing, though. And indeed, the direction that they go in with the hat off the head. Ivy's got all the info.
I'll be honest, for the majority of this round, it looked like he should have been dead to rights. Nightfall, not going to connect. Both players have been able to dodge it. It does clear a lot of real estate. But those positions can be filled back in, and in fact, they have done. Isolated fights, looking like the most likely turn of core. Xros needs another, and it's his 4th kill of the round already. Looking for that last player. He reads it perfectly! How does Xros make every move exactly as he needs it? And an ace already in our semi-final.
We wanted to see that comp on the other side. We wanted to see Nongshim playing the Phoenix so Xros could have a chance to shine, but my God, it doesn't seem to matter.
He's insane.
What he's playing, look at that. The read couldn't be better.
Doesn't even react. He's just made one of the most insane plays of the tournament, and he doesn't even react. My God.
Sensational for Nongshim. That's the lead secured. And proof that it's not just Francis here today. Danby will not be deterred. He is pushing. My. He is pressuring. And he's tearing them apart. The big swing finally shut down by Bang. Shadows traveling. He's been the one to catch him a couple of times. The reason that Danby has fallen, but a 1 versus 3. The damage surely already done.
Question of the TP is whether or not it's worth it. Ivy low, RB in an isolated fight, but he is normally the safer pair of hands, forcing him into Francis again. An opportunity for a 1v1. No group up just yet. Bang's done well. Looks to try and maybe bait the idea that he's going back towards the B site. This is where you'd kind of expect the remaining players to try and group up, especially with how low Ivy is. The possibility of a clutch has gone up massively. RB's in a pretty solid position, but again, they're somewhat split.
Spike planted.
Bang's looking for him. Okay. RB hits the shot, but that's a big risk from Nongshim to split up in a moment like that, to give him a chance.
What about the rest of the round?
Well, this is
the third round in a row. The Danby has pushed the same angle.
And keep in mind, it started with him being shot through the smoke. Bang got a double to shut down the round before. The last round he ran out, immediately died as well. If at first you don't succeed, try again. And that's what he's been running. And it is just that confidence. That's the problem. You know, for this squad, I actually don't know what it takes for Danby to go, ooh, I need to tighten up here. I need to play.
Maybe it was 3 in a row. We'll never know. We'll never know now.
I'm not so sure.
This is a tough one as well when you're the coaching staff, of course. NBS, Doom Bros, checking in with their players, and you're kind of in a spot where I think there hasn't been a pause call before this because their players are going to be very clear of what Nongshim are doing. They're running it down. They're sprinting down mid, trying to fight you early, setting up a stun, putting in utility to try and make those fights awkward, and then kind of slaughtering you in those moments. And although we have seen 100 Thieves already correct in some of the earlier rounds where it's like, okay, we've been able to stop that, we've been able to deny Danby and then get aced by Xros, you then kind of go as a coach and go, well, yeah, you guys know what's happening. You know what's going on. It's just they haven't been able to find a solution to it, or at least a consistent one.
Goes there. This goes here.
For 100 Thieves, cracking the code is going to be tough on this one. Pistols brought in for Nongshim. A likely 6th. And of course, against an eco, we all know what teams do. They push. At least to start. Nongshim went towards A main. They looked for it with Danby. Trying to swing around that corner, outlaw in hand, and he then holds the angle. This is a different face to Nongshim. They're going to play much more passive in that early fight, and the space they're containing allows those rotations to go through. I don't think 100 Thieves are going to be quite ready for this much presence from Nongshim. 3 players towards top mid, one of them being Breach as well with a full kit to play off of. Xros as well taking one through the walls, certainly not going to help things out. A Paranoia perfectly placed gives RB a follow-up. And the Spike's now down in the open. Even when they don't push, their aggression being primed and ready to rumble. Cryo bringing us back to a 2v2, and from what seemed to be a secured round for Nongshim moments ago, there's now a battle on our hands.
Again, split between right on the edge, waiting patiently. Bangs won that fight as well. It's left to Danby, and it's a thrifty round that comes through. Cryo, Timotino managed to make that one work. As you said, with the first couple of picks, I thought this was going to be a nigh-on simple round for the side of Nongshim, but there was a recovery.
Well, I think it was a simple round. They had tempered aggression to start with. It worked well with a trap setup on top mid. They pounced on the back of it. This is something we saw from them yesterday. Their defensive sides were really annoying to play against because they were constantly setting up these little traps across the map. They do that here with the early aggression from Danby. And then in the 5v3, they keep pushing. And that's the problem, overheating. I like the idea from Nongshim. I like the approach, the change of pace, but once things started to go their way, they got a bit too excited. It's given 100 Thieves a 4th round and a chance to still compete for this half.
Yeah, ults galore. Both sides having plenty to play with.
Shadows traveling.
The run it back, the overdrive for the attack, and Rolling Thunder, Nightfall, and an overdrive of their own. Gives a lot of opportunities, even just with the fact that RB can quickly rotate to the other side of the map, or that they have ults that will deny the push. And that's where I feel like 100 Thieves have to be a little bit more careful in this round based on time. You go in too late in the round, you get hit by one of those ults, it could end your round. But also you've got to be careful for everything else that Nongshim have been doing, which are those trap plays. They've been doing it throughout the tournament on their defense. For now, they've felt out the map, realized the passiveness of their opponents, and now with 35 seconds, look to head in towards this A side, or B side, sorry.
Nightfall put to market for now. But most of 100 Thieves are coming out of main. It was only Timotino who was unspotted. Going to be shut down by Danby, but they have found themselves an advantage nonetheless. Rolling Thunder trying to pull it back, delaying that time. Spike on the site, isolated, but not dropped.
I know
Vora
exactly where you are.
Somehow survives in that corner, but the cross is needed. 10 seconds, and Vora's there for more.
Spike planted.
But Unbound, the site, it looked like they were up against it. Even with the man advantage, the Rolling Thunder, the flight, but they dealt with it all.
Really good work from them. RB now the last man standing, and he's going to clear one, but Vora there to close around with a quad. Fantastic stuff from him individually, but also just as a unit. They're able to soak up that pressure, not panic when it gets down into those last few seconds. Obviously, the plant was the main goal, trying to deny it on the Nongshim side. You can see the aftershock sent through, but it's the clear Francis to make sure that there's no real danger towards the end. And the fact that Vora is also hitting one of those shots while stunned has helped him out massively.
Yeah, I mean, Vord did a phenomenal job. The pressure he was put under in that corner, his teammates isolated, the wall was trying to help him, and maybe it did give him the edge he needed. For Nongshim, they're left to pistols. They should have 6 on the board already. 5 versus 3 in the anti-eco, but 100 Thieves managed to pull it back. Still a chance to take the lead by the time this closes. We talked about Nongshim's traps, though. It's been a huge problem for teams before that stun, that flash, but a counter flash from Thieves has bought them a bit of space and time, and indeed an advantage with RB down. Really the all the eggs in one basket for Nongshim. If that push works out, they've got a weapon on the floor, but instead, rotations to the A site and 100 again, picking the easier hit.
Cryo's done well consistently throughout space. He will lose the 5 versus 3. There's always deadly players on the Nongshim side, but they are being by one. Good use of the paranoia as well, just to remove a lot of that additional danger. Even still, though,
Spike planted.
They managed to make this scary. A late flank back. That's a freebie for Francis. We're now in a 2v2 scenario. Sure, there is a Hunter's Fury if necessary. I think that might now be the plan. You can see Aurora falling back into a more passive position. Maybe make that ultimate a little bit more viable.
Yeah, out goes the drone. A tag here. You can save it for time at this stage, though. That clock has run way too far down. Reveal going through. That player spotted. The spam has not landed. They think that they've cleared it, thankfully. The defuse no longer underway. The issues seemingly gone as time will decide this fight. Asuna playing it patient and securing 6 for 100 Thieves. They've now taken the lead.
Yeah, it's a costly round, but it's one where ultimately, I don't think you're too worried on the 100 Thieves side. You get through towards the end of the half, and economically they should be absolutely fine to get back into the next one. Again, they've at least, after what was I think 5 or 6 rounds in a row, managed to stabilize, managed to hold on versus what was an incredibly aggressive defense. And that means they're going in even at the half.
It's a damn sight better than it looked like it was going to be. In their opponent's pocket, now a chance to lock it in at the halftime. For 100 Thieves, slow start. They know that there's likely a trap somewhere. Stuns being held. Try to get Ambi into position. Heard the noise in middle. He is patient for now, but that time was soon to come that he would go pushing forward. Look at 100 Thieves. They immediately fall back using the Phoenix Blaze wall just to isolate off that angle, make it harder for Dambi to push through to cancel his aggression. And that's what they're doing for the entire first minute. They are waiting for Nongshim to give them an advantage. And instead, it's Nongshim to take it.
Yeah, cool. Just spam the smoke. Get an opener. Back towards the B site.
30 seconds left.
Cryo looking to be the point of contact. Nobody really watching in that direction for now. It seems like the setting up for a retake. Ivy looks to walk in. Looks to hold the ground. Parallel is perfect, though. Cryo further up than expected. Then the 1-2 punch as Asuna does the same. Leaves them again with a big advantage, and they're waiting for these pushes. These solo aggressive plays from the side of Nongshim. They got away earlier in the game. Now they're getting punished time and time again. And unless Exodus has another miracle round, looks like a 7-5 half.
100 Thieves figured that out. They did indeed crack the code. The vault is wide open as Nongshim's aggression punished. Oh, that's beautiful from X-Rock's prediction. But it's not enough for Nongshim. A guaranteed 7-5 with 100 Thieves stealing Has gotta hurt. This felt like a series that they had control of, and especially because they were losing those rounds based on overconfidence, based on overplaying their hand.
But you have to bear in mind as well that this feels like a punish pick for the side of Nongshim. This is them going, okay, you're not going to ban a map that you've been banning throughout the whole tournament. We're going to pick it to play. Sure, there were 5 rounds. This is working for 100 Thieves, and then they recover. They take that pause, they soak up pressure, and they manage to double back into it. That was a good recovery from them.
Yes, a familiar face here in the arena. Vous le reconnaissez peut-être, c'est pas le coach de Vitality qui m'a rejoint. Vitality.
டாப் வாய்ப்பே இல்ல இப்பமே 2 பேர் தான் பாக்குறாங்களா? எத்தனை பேர் பாக்குறாங்க? புரியல. இது அது 50 CVV இருந்தாதான் அப்ரூவ் பண்றாங்க மாதிரி.
With a complete awareness of what Nongshim want to do. They're ready for every piece of aggression.
தமிழ்ல யாரும் வந்திருக்க மாட்டாங்க.
To deal with it, especially around mid in that late stage.
தமிழ்
He was not having
close
to the success that we saw yesterday, where at times we had to question.
அதனால கூட குத்துறதுக்கு வாய்ப்பு இருக்கு.
Onto the attack they go. Versus G2.
Subscribers கூட பார்க்க மாட்டாங்க.
Cryo has been on a tear. His attack side lurks definitely were a big part. Holding on to a lot of that pressure. Even still though, RB's gone TPing into the site. The ground is being claimed, but a pre-take in from the defensive side. They're not just going to back power away from this Nongshim side. They will take the fight before they can get the spike down. Brilliant round, a clean round, and a pistol that will hold a lot of value.
Oh, that is a big step in the right direction now. I'm seeing MBS looking very comfortable on that side of the stage. As you said, you come into this, you feel like it could be a punish, but it's looking for 100 Thieves like it very much is something that they have prepared for day and night. Pistol, the cherry on top after day and night. Pistol, the cherry on top after a solid first half, a resurgence as well. Fully in their sails at 8-5.
Yeah, saving a map for the semi-finals.
Oh, that's a Spectre.
Is crazy. But yeah, a solo
Spectre with that.
No shield, Spectre. Yeah. All right, so he's gonna ace. I'm ready.
I think that was a mistake.
We'll have to ask. Or maybe we'll never know. It's not gone particularly well. But there is one Spectre shining on the other side. As only Ivy stands and cries there with 4 to his name. Individually, maybe not the player. I don't think they're going to care.
I don't think that they're going to be very happy on Nongshim Red Force.
I would just buy a sheriff and headshot everyone, it's fine.
Yeah, well, to be fair, it does work a lot of the time. Look at him, he makes that big investment, he jumps to the side, and he gets picked out of the air.
Smoke அவனுக்கு கொஞ்சம் அட்வான்டேஜ் ஆயிடுச்சு. அது ஹெட் உங்களுக்கு கிட்ட விழுந்துருச்சு. நீங்க ஏத்த மாதிரி.
It's just so unlucky. He's like, oh, I bought this probably by accident, but I'll see what I can do with it. Just immediately blind crossfire. Now for 100 Thieves, set up close on A main. This is
இல்ல யாரும் இல்ல. நானே இது கொஞ்சம் வண்டியா வந்துட்டு வெளிய போயிட்டு வந்தா யாரும் இல்ல.
Timothy's dead. He's being sold to the Wolves and they're eating good. With Asuna, good work to at least find the wood, but much more needed. As players drop like fries, it will fries. Well, fries.
ஒரு பைக் வருது கேக்குதான் பாரு.
Drop into the deep fat fryer. It's all good.
கேக்குதா?
They know where he is. They're all now ripping up on this angle as well. Well, I actually know. I guess they're not. X-Rush just walked across with his knife out. So they're not certain.
One way. He's going to make it awkward and Cryo's been good, but that one was a bridge too far. The stinger that was on Francis didn't play too much of a part in the end, and This attack side of Nongshim will look to try and break through into some of these rounds. This is where things should get a little bit more interesting, though. The rifles on the board for both sides. The first full investment. The only ultimate online, the neural theft, which, okay, if Nongshim tried to pull a cruise, might affect the round, but by the looks of it, they're gambling on this A side once again.
Certainly looks to be. Timotino's happy about that at least. With the first pick, Paranoia landed on a couple. They're forced back, and that staggers the fight.
One enemy remaining.
Leaves Bang and Asuna. Some easy duels and double digits seemingly on the board for 100 Thieves. This was a big round for Nongshim. I think now they're going to start to get an idea of what 100 Thieves are looking for early on. Like, it's been a lot of presence on that A side. A lot of utility swinging out, not just from Timotino, but it's the fact that Asuna is there. You have the Phoenix flashes, you have the Paranoia from Bang coming deep.
Okay.
Nice. Really backers.
I like the position, but I think he stepped a little bit too much. I'm almost certain Laura heard him, and there's a ping on the map right here. Yeah, he's got those pieces of info connected. Double digits locked in for 100 Thieves.
Yeah, it looks like they're fairly in control of this at this point. Those explosive moments of rounds in the middle of the pack seemed like it could be the same steamroller that we saw yesterday. Thieves have learned to soak up that pressure and responses to that same side A aggression that they failed to hold in the last round in their bonus. And already we're going to see the pause out of Nongshim. Now they are a team that are quite happy, if the moment feels right, to invest even 2 pauses back to back in a row if they feel that they are necessary. It looks like we're going to have them talk things over in this circumstance to see if they can find a solution, and quick as well, because you coming up with that punish, sure, I don't think that I sit there and look at Lotus and feel like it's a dominant in either side. In fact, both teams have beaten an EMEA team in overtime because of the victories they've had throughout this tournament so far on Lotus. But even still, when you go into Sunset, a map your opponent hasn't played, and they look this comfortable, it does seem like 100 Thieves are coming today with a game plan.
I will look at Nongshim as well, though, and my wonder is, have they tripped themselves up? They're still playing the game the way that they want to with that late round aggression. Think of the defense, the round that we said they should have pushed up to 6 on, and even more perhaps. They end up in a 5v3 off of playing the comp the right way. But in the late round, with the advantage, they go back to their scrappy style. They look for the fights, they push too much. And the comp isn't really allowing them to do that. It's a burst of aggression, it's a trap play, and a reset. Nongshim skipped the resets, and now they've been put miles behind. A chance to fight back here. Rifles in hand for a majority. But Danby down already.
Yeah, they've managed to at least deal with the ult. And then Ivy's hit the shot to Timotino. That's going to level the playing field. Shot dart into the back of sight will do damage, but the kills are going one way and one way alone. In fact, they're all going the way of Nongshim. A back and forth on this A side of the map, but some very low players. RB, one of them, 2 HP. Flash, he's going to re-peak on 2 health. That's almost too easy. Weapon now retrieved, but Francis holding in the corner. Might just have done enough. He comes down to 1. Cryo has been the best player so far, but that time has been ticking for quite a while. And his opponent in Ivy is just waiting for him to try and make his move. He'll get it to half the leaf, maybe even try and stick it a little further, but he lands the shot at the last second. Has he got a defusal? He has! Cryo once again! He's going to close out a round for 100 Thieves.
That is a crazy clutch from him. It felt like it was played pretty well on the other side. Ivy ran the clock down as much as he could, even went in for the shoulder peek at the end there. And from his perspective, there's a good chance that it's being stopped. The time is so low, not many would have the balls to stop at this stage, allowing the reveal to come through while he's still crouched down below. And you can see even at the end, they weren't sure he had it, but a big win, a big fight as well. Right off rip, 100 Thieves, they changed their progression to the B side. They found all the TP from Bang, they thought he left. What a swing, but somehow survives in the shadows, the corner, unchecked, and Nongshim needing a clutch now. A 1v2 with Bang, still in their way. It is his round, and his alone, to put 100 Thieves on 12.
I think he would have put Houdini to shame with the way he managed to disappear from vision and then reappear in a spot that nobody expected. Not one player was ready for Bang in that corner. And no surprise, I think we're going to be seeing another pause. Just look, they're swapping guns, and it's the hop check from Francis. That moment is going to be in the back of his head for quite some time. He looks to check if somebody's there, but it's a half check, and they're punished for it.
They'd already killed 2 players. They saw re-aggression coming out, and why would he still be there? And then just further reinforcement. You hear that TP, and you think, anyone who was even cautious of him being around there, he's leaving. He's running away. He's fleeing. Let's get around that corner and catch him. Losing sight. A small gap. And 100 Thieves use it to blow this map wide open for Nongshim. They are so far behind now. This is a squad that seemed to have a commanding lead at a point with a chance to push it even further. They failed to secure a lead at the halftime, and from there, 100 Thieves have emptied the vault. They've taken them for everything they're worth, with Nongshim almost guaranteed to need a reverse sweep for the grand final spot.
Yeah, back-to-back clutch rounds.
Bring them down.
And now Nongshim need to find 6 in a row. The thing is, they've been investing over the last few rounds, so it's not like they've been building up to a big buy. This is still them on the brink. Only a singular primary rifle, but they do have a couple of ults to play with. Now, we saw them on the defense use both of these in one round, and wow, blink and you miss it. Timotino's already got the first that could be putting map 1 on the board for 100 Thieves.
Nongshim sending this to the A site. Only one man stands there, but it is the demon from their darkest dreams, their nightmares in the previous Bang. In the corner, put 100 Thieves up to 12. Timotino's not stopping either. He's pushing forward, but Bang will have to hold his ground, but the reinforcements are coming. A tag up onto Francis. He's down to 10 HP, and what was previously 1 man on this A site is now 3, is now 4. In fact, 100 Thieves have wrapped in heavy, and it seems like Nongshim are going to take advantage of that. The spike's going the other way.
Playing off site. Nice shot from Dami. He tries this as a ruse. The TP is going to give the information that they are outside that side of the map. Already rolling Thunder in, but it's not going to connect onto anybody. They'd left that back moment of the site. Shock dart in. Plant will be coming through with 7 seconds to spare, and this flank could end up being everything, but it needs to get a move on. In fact, I think he knows it, starts running it down behind, tries to give space, but it's Vora again, leaving RB as all that remains, and 100 Thieves from what was looking like a bit of a dangerous map, a map they banned all the way through the tournament so far. They have won it convincingly in the second half.
A remarkable performance from 100 Thieves, starting out behind and then running away with the game. For Nongshim, coming in today after dishing out an incredible defeat to Vitality. You thought that they would come in today as the biggest challenge 100 Thieves have ever faced, and yet we have seen them prepare.
Properly old school.
Properly old school, absolutely. I think you're looking at Timotino here to really abuse that, to make the most of the fact that he can put himself on that waylay, especially in this first half on the fence, in really awkward positions where he's not having his line of sight denied, they're not taking away any of the information he's able to steal, and then they're able to shift that Omen across to the Viper and the Vise sides to hard hold it, and at that point, it's just up to Nongshim to try and explode through as much defense as possible.
On that second half as well, Ivy's got to have to defend against that waylay, but there's so much verticality ability and burst there that it is able to bring that it makes his job very difficult. Ivy's been a fantastic player all tournament, but I will say it does look like the odds are stacked against him here.
100%. I think we're going to see a lot of the fighting from Dambi and X-Ross, absolutely, and ultimately it's that duo taking the fight. 200 Thieves that's going to have to make the difference.
Big time. You have waxed poetic about many things, but the Viper on Lotus is the thing.
Say your real thoughts.
How do you feel right now, given you're like, it's, they're playing it correctly. How do you really feel?
Valorant is a deeply strategic game. Everybody knows that.
Rubbish.
But it's also a very deeply vibes-based game. It's also about who wants it more in the server. Viper or no Viper, maybe they have a disadvantage. But maybe I don't care. Maybe they don't care. I'm feeling good for Nongshim, baby. Let's go.
Viper or no Viper. I know two guys who always want it. They're on the cast right now. It is Tom and Mitch.
That's only from you, Deacon. Well, Tom, it's time to see how Map 2 plays out, considering Nongshim had such a good start to the previous, but then it really fell apart. It looked like 100 Thieves came in more than ready for what their opponents were trying to put out there. It was a compositional conversation as well for me in the previous. I feel like Nongshim came in with a comp that didn't really suit them and how they like to play, especially those late rounds. A lot of risks being taken, and sometimes it was a little bit of a handover played. I wonder if coming in here, we'll see that fade away a little bit as we move more towards comfort.
Yeah, I think Exorus being back on the duelist is always going to be that little bit more exciting, although I am a little bit sad that, if things maybe don't go to plan in this map, we might not get to see his Phoenix, because that's what I've been enjoying most throughout this tournament so far. But I do sit and look at this and go, okay, I don't think either team necessarily blew me away in their victories. I think a very close win, and obviously that crazy comeback victory for Nongshim when they played against the Mates, which they ended up losing that series as well. So it's whether or not that we can see that slightly better attack once we get there, which they massively struggled on, or if they are going to have a sort of another defensive masterclass, which I almost felt like was more of a Mates crumbling than them really having a stellar showing on this side of the map. The fact is, though, both teams are kind of in a similar position where regionally, this map hasn't gone fantastically well, and then when they came here, they've won once in overtime. So I feel like we're in a level playing field, just 100 Thieves. So far, their game plan has been far better.
Yeah, it definitely was. Preparation paid off on map number 1 for 100 Thieves is a false trap set their opponents got caught in. Now, a pistol round with a stack up on the stairs. And a double pick to start. 100 Thieves, man advantage. For a moment, looked like Timatino would continue this push. Is certainly getting curious around A main as they do the same on the other side of the map. It's rare to see that aggression on both sides of the map like that, but it has worked wonderfully for 100 Thieves.
We saw a lot of talk about Timatino's excitement to play on the stage in Paris, and he's looking to try and keep that going as much as humanly possible. It doesn't seem to have felt that pressure just yet, but they do have to be a little bit careful. Francis has been a man to fear throughout this tournament. His start on the last map, even while playing the Breach,
Spike planted,
was an exciting one. Paranoia through. Timatino's going to be running in from behind. First goes his way, but Timatino is so fast with it. 3 kills on the Sheriff. Instant shots connected. And the youngster again off to a flying start.
Yeah, a great pistol round from 100 Thieves. Again, sitting and waiting towards A main with the 3-man stack up, the high, low, and medium. Makes it a nice, easy firing squad to start this out, but then they go for the re-aggression out on C, win all of the duels, at least the important ones.
Yeah, and a third pistol.
Indeed, yeah. It's more so towards the second half, I think, of though, like, pistol for Nongshim might have given them a bit of momentum. Instead, it was what 100 Thieves were able to do with that half-2 pistol. Completely shut Nongshim out. Remember, there was a point we were like, oh, it should be 6-2, and they finished 13-6. For 100 Thieves, I'm now going to look to them, see if they can have that same sort of start to this defense. He does manage to survive the moment. They want to deal with him before he's given a chance to push with the rest of his squad. Door open.
That's the
thing, they've got Spectres across the board. And then getting a little bit closer than maybe you would have liked. I'm definitely going to be intrigued to see how these are used towards the bonus round. Like what sort of plan these have. How is Ivy winning that fight from there? It seems ludicrous, but it's only going to be the one gun loss. But I also wonder if part of that is just how much we see this Nongshim side able to do with the pistols. Just go, let's just get Spectres, let's strafe around and just headshot them as we go, and make sure that this round is a comfortable conversion and gives us something to play with to the next round.
I do think that for Nongshim, this round is going to carry a lot of weight. Looking at how this started, 100 Thieves, it's an anti-eco, but look at how aggressive they were. They looked for all of those fights. Those are the mistakes that typically teams we see pay at least somewhat of a price for. But it's confidence. And it's boots on the necks of Nongshim that makes me nervous as 100 Thieves. Big tag to open this up coming out of Timotino. Ivy's going to be healed back up, but that Outlaw now becomes deadly for him, as well as the majority of this Nongshim squad.
I wonder if that's why the Spectres are in. If you know that opponents are constantly buying light shields in these rounds, the Spectre becomes more and more deadly. Much a chance of being able to clear out some of those kills. Also, as said, like starting out on the attack for Nongshim, this is where they really struggled. A bonus round victory is a necessity, unless again they are hoping for a crazy comeback, and already under pressure from the aggression of that Whaley. It was mentioned by on the desk that that's going to be a consistent factor for Timotino.
Thinking of yesterday where Nongshim were the team who went where they want, when they want. Now it seems like there was a different face being worn by this squad. One of respect, one perhaps of fear, as 100 Thieves have kept the back, even with these weaker weapons. The rotation's dragged over. Danby goes down. But the C site should now be easier to take. That's the idea, and it better be. There's 20 seconds left, and still a Vice wall up. It's going to cause problems as the first breaks through. The Spike still stuck behind. RB isolated on the TP. And as this wall goes down, as soon as repositioned, he gets damaged, and they drop the planter. Give it time, 6 seconds. Another shot in for Ivy down. It leaves Francis. Sure, he'll put the Spike on the floor, but he may be soon to join it. Timotino up, over, and in. 3-0 for 100 Thieves.
This was his round. Not only was he hitting tags from the get-go, like leaving players low, but he was everywhere. We saw him take fights on the entirety of the map, starting out aggressively on A, moving his way through the middle of the map on B at one point, and then fighting back into the C site. Literally wherever Nongshim went, Timotino was waiting, and he's even there to close it out in the end. What a fantastic round from him individually. And as said, looking at the attack side last time out versus mates, there needed to be a bonus round. There needed to be a good start on the attack side for Nongshim, and it has not happened.
Honestly, up against Vitality, I don't think I saw Nongshim approach a single round with that sense of trepidation. And then you look at this round, where they have the rifles and their opponents have got the weak weapons. It's a big map, like Lotus as well. One where if you decide to just, hey, let's run at that site and see what happens. Even against those low buys, there should be less numbers there. But they were so scared. And for good reason. 100 Thieves show that they've got claws, even in rounds like that. And now Nongshim are left with pistols. Certainly nowhere you want to count them out. They've already traded blows. A lot of damage done, but 100 Thieves are playing this super passive. Sitting back, allowing them to have that early space. And when the utility's gone, they'll look for the fight.
Backside. Arsenal waiting. A chance at range to spray down multiple players. They're looking to put the pressure onto him, and he thrives under that pressure. 4 kills in a matter of seconds, and while the aces are going to be handed over, Cryo doesn't want him to get all of the limelight, but there was only one man that was important in this round, and that was very comfortable in the end.
All these fans, fans, but they're having one hell of a show here today. Rooting. A lot of rooting for Nongshim even over on that mate side. We saw a lot of their jerseys stand up as those boys mounted the stage, but this is a completely different vibe from what we saw yesterday, from what we've seen from Nongshim all tournament long. And we're getting a timeout here. No surprise with how things have gone. A 4-0 start. The next round carrying a lot of weight for this squad. As at this stage, it's not just about this, it's about the end of the previous map. This has been a streak where 100 Thieves look and feel more and more confident by the round.
Yeah, I felt like we saw glimpses of this on Split yesterday, where Nongshim went a little bit silent. I think it was 4 rounds in a row for Vitality. Then Exros wins 1 round with the Sheriff, and they're right back. It's like nothing ever happened.
Okay with the Sheriff, yeah.
And I think that might be the moment that they need, because that sort of quirky. It seems like 100 Thieves off. Organized smoke up, TP into it, reveal over the back. Because at least for a moment, it looked like that was the goal. Instead, they're hearing players go through mid and immediate usage of that convergence path. But Danby's able to stop them. One man that's completely dissipated the push. A thorn in their side, a spanner in the works. What could have been another nasty trap quickly becomes.
That's a really big round from Danby already. But Cryo left alone. The first on the board by the looks of things. Presence outside the B site was all they needed. 100 Thieves over heat. Timatino's ultimate is the go call for Danby. And his early success, Danby, in particular, his early success hasn't been there. We saw 100 Thieves dealing with him, starting to shut him down on Sunset. Never really found its footing. Right after the timeout, Nongshim finding themselves success. It's not like even this weapon being saved is going to have a huge amount of impact for 100 Thieves. They've already got a lot of credits built up. But happy to save it over the butterfly effect, of course. No point messing with that.
Well, no, it's
chipping away at your own economy for, what, a couple orbs?
Well, this is it. Like, look at this as well from a Nongshim perspective. Like, you haven't managed to get any rounds on the board just yet. When you do, you win it flawlessly. Like, you get an economy boost, you get yourself an opportunity to really build into this game. But it's one where I don't know if it's recreatable. Like, you had a hyper-aggressive move to try and trap them in the B site. 2 players were waiting, I think just got baited out, and then just a swing through the smoke in classic Nongshim style is what ends up turning around in their favor. I don't think it's 100 Thieves. It might give them a little bit more of a tentative defense.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately that round comes down to 100 Thieves thinking that smoke outside C would be given a lot more respect than it was. And now they go back to
maybe that one too.
Aggression from Timatino. With his get out of jail free card, he fires once, bails, takes Francis out. A lot of utility removed. The dog you'd love to have to be the trailblazer instead. Danby sent through to do that. The first on the board already, wrapped in from Timatino, but it's Vora on the side. He's got it for more. With Ivy all alone, 2 kills under his belt already. The spike still needs to be recovered. Help, but getting into a position to use it is difficult. He knows there's an option on that site. He's cautious of it, but unaware of Asuna.
You'll witness they put that deeper smoke down, and then just the Viper wall goes up. Timatino walks through the smoke. Knows that there can be nobody on the other side because they can't have been there yet. They drop the wall. That's the opening pick. This, though, from Vora is a little bit more magic. Just having 2 players attempting to cross and then even predicting where that 3rd player will be. He's the one that wins the round, but I really want to see how Nongshim are going to deal with fighting around that Viper wall, because it can't be as simplistic as let's just walk out and think our smokers doesn't work, because we saw in the last round that Timatino is more than happy to challenge that space.
Of course he is. With an op and a refract, why not? Aggression again with Ivy waiting this time. Unaware that there's a second part of that attack, but it has been spotted now. Asuna pops the ultimate.
Interesting.
In their spawn. Again, this is just him trying to stay alive, but the TP taken towards the C side. It doesn't seem to matter. Ivy's taken the round into his own 2 hands.
Enemy remaining.
With 4 last alive, yeah, he'll get the jump on 1, but 4 more to take down. A 1v5 ace clutch is needed for 100 Thieves to keep this momentum going.
It's been a weird couple of rounds for Nongshim. First was Danby the hero. Nope. Nope. That's awkward. And the next was Ivy. a quick shot for the first, but then the double, just catching rotations. I am interested in the ult that was thrown out as well. The Steel Garden being utilized as maybe a deterrent, but it definitely didn't work. They were more than happy to continue that push forward, and you could see the level of surprise on the 100 Thieves players' faces. Even still, though, the rounds for Nongshim thus far have felt like a bit more of a flash in the pan, some individual brilliance. And with still plenty of credits for 100 Thieves, they're back with an ult once again.
Yes. Okay.
100 Thieves towards that site. You can see the bang is stepping up a little bit, taking some space. The operator right around the corner. The dog on its way. Of course, he can always just TP out even from that spot. That's exactly what he'll do. It's because of that he's able to survive. And this early round for both teams is them sitting back, waiting for their operators to be challenged, waiting for someone to peek out around a corner. As of right now, a stalemate. It really does put the pressure on towards Nongshim. Door open. They've sent Bora running. Dive in from Timatino as a result, but he spotted one outside A. For 100 Thieves, there's not much they can do here. There's presence all across the map.
Also with the showstopper, they can kind of go late into this sort of round. And with the Nightfall on the other side, there's even an element for 100 Thieves that might just want to try and play this as a retake. Instead, though, the potential for the enemy to be removed. And it looks like 100 Thieves have a completely wrong read. They are sending 4 players towards that C side of the map and leaving Arsena completely alone.
Yeah, they thought the smokes were put down on A just to rob them of info so the fake would work, but instead it's a full-on attack. Asuna able to delete the showstopper. 12 seconds left. The spam is good. It stopped the plant. It's bought them at least a little bit more time. 100 Thieves, 6 seconds on the clock. One more denial would be enough, but the spike planted. Nongshim find themselves just enough room to set up a bang. That's a big pick. He can wait now for Cryo, who's on his way down below, but the reposition of Francis, that seems to have given Nongshim the upper hand. But it may well pull them across the line with the op still sitting around. Sure, the shot is missed, but they still have time on their side. 2 players to run that clock down.
Snakebite.
It's good, but look, he's going to wait. Francis running that all the way down to the final second. They are playing this to win off of the clock, and I think they've already got it done. Camby most certainly locks it in.
Back and forth round. A lot of ultimates that needed to be used there for the Nongshim side, but I think the timing of the Steel Garden ended up being the best, because I was a little bit worried. Like, I saw them priming it originally, and I was like, okay, for Arsena, that's basically a death sentence, especially if the showstopper is used at the same time. Then they just use the showstopper. I'm like, oh, okay, actually, maybe they're in with a chance, but he uses it in the middle stage of the round, allows them to get that plant in with a lot less danger, and then just play those post plants, play the time. 3 of the last 4 rounds for Nongshim. After the start they had, I was getting a little bit worried. And also, Mitch, now that economy runs dry. They finally broken the 100 Thieves bank.
Yeah, it felt like almost an impossibility at a certain point, but chipped away at it. Bit by bit, piece by piece. For 100 Thieves, setting up again in terms of those traps, but the walk through, the timing, caught by Ivy, the flash perfect from him.
He's been great.
Single-handedly stopped that aggression. Although the op shot might not land for 100 Thieves, 2-man disadvantage, pistols in play, and 1v1s across the map. I think all Nongshim need to do now is group up to close this round out. Although that group up does mean Cross and Cryo, that there is a chance here.
He'd have to hit some nutty shots. No,
and he won't.
Not this time. We've seen plenty of them, and RB is just countering those ecoing players. Looking like another clean round up until Vora wins the fight versus Ivy. Of all the players you'd bank on so far, Ivy's probably the one you'd expect to hit that shot. He has been stellar as that solo player on the other side of the map, but this round is over for sure. And although the economy of 100 Thieves would allow for Vora to go for this, it's whether or not it's worth it. Giving orbs over to the other side could be a problem, but if he can pick up enough, cause some cost for Nongshim, maybe it's worthwhile.
Yeah, as we can see as well, X-Ross is waiting on the other side of the map. So if he did turn tail to just go and save, Death probably waited for him over there. Nongshim, now we're looking a little bit better here. Starting to piece rounds together, starting to look a little bit more in control of this game. Remember, this is a 100 Thieves map pick, though. And I suppose that's a good question to ask as we get towards the end of this half. Where is the goalpost for Nongshim? Is 4 enough already?
Well, if you're going based off how they play versus mates, yeah, they only needed 2. But no, I'd say if they can get 5, I think they're still in a pretty good spot. I think their defensive side aggression was really difficult to play against. It's clearly something 100 Thieves feel ready for, though. And that's what makes it difficult. Danby, aggression once again. And well, see you later, Cryo. The thing is, this isn't even the push. This is the ruse, but sometimes the ruse can be enough all alone. Danby, with no help, no friends beside him, is a menace. And he's given his team full control. Arsenal, though, trying to get ahead of it. He gets dealt with. Timotino's found a response, but that response still sees them one behind.
That's the wraparound from RB. Okay, he's been spotted. I could have closed the round, but the swing from Ivy does just that. Timotino, an AWP trained on his position, and that will be a death sentence. Nongshim back up 5-5. The recovery most certainly on as the real fear here was that 100 Thieves would replicate that performance from the previous map. Nongshim's pick, but if we could go back in time, I think that would change. 100 Thieves were ready there, but seems like Nongshim found an extra gear on Lotus.
It seems like both teams have done that. Like, we've seen these sort of early starts and then both teams having that ability to completely reset. And I do think a lot of that just comes down to a couple of rounds from the likes of Danby, from the likes of Ivy. It really does feel like the 1-2 punch, but of 2 players that are playing opposite sides of the map. You have Danby just running around. Like, this round is literally him diving into the B side, coming out with 2 kills, and the rest of the team are just going, all right, we're going to hit C. You're your own entity. And then think back to some of the other rounds where you have this sort of aggressive push coming in, and Ivy's just holding the line. He's able to just be that almost turret-like player that just doesn't allow 100 Thieves that level of control. It's difficult when both of those players are playing fantastically well. That aggression that was initially working, think of Timotino finding those openers, finding that aggression. When that fails, is there another level to 100 Thieves? And well, that's probably what the pause is for, because they've lost 4 in a row now.
But there was on the previous map, you think about Bang hiding in the corner, the impact of Cryo, whether it be in the early fights or the late.
Been a bit quiet here.
Exactly. A complete change for 100 Thieves. Nongshim, Ivy as reliable as ever. Searching for that 6th round now, stun up close. Timotino just about makes it out, and the spam from Bang good enough to trade onto Danby. It's a solid start for 100 Thieves with the man advantage, but Bang being tagged low and the pressure still being put on means they've got to keep delivering. Timotino with the missed stun just bails. The fall back towards the site, space taken for Nongshim, numbers traded, and HB looking better for the attackers.
Yeah, they got aggressive in order to even up, and now Timotino goes back for more. Asner alongside him.
Wall tripped.
Keeps things even in terms of numbers. Just look how much space has been taken. This is the problem I talked about. You have Ivy being able to give them the B site for free. TPing straight in, the pit now goes down, but it seems like they're still a little wary of some of that flank control. That's why the attack are yet to get that plant in, and Arsene has now found himself right within opposition ground.
That smoke's gonna fade soon. He walks through.
30 seconds
thinking
left.
maybe they'd left.
Smart from RB.
RB was sat waiting while Ivy covers up top. Comfortable plant can now be found. Francis has been a snake in the grass for a while, but he's wrapping back to the squad just in time. Cryo, we talked about his performance in the last map, and now a chance the judge, it seemed, would count him out. But that pick gives him a weapon with a smoke down as well. He can actually recover it, and he might need it because Bang, low on HP, low on luck, is being taken out. Look how far back that rifle went. He's managed to recover it, managed to get it into his hands, but this, a bridge too far for certain. Ivy, reliable as ever, is there to close this one 6-5. The lead now, Nongshims.
Again, just great work from Ivy, but I also want to give a shout out to RB. Just the patience they have to tap the spike in the B site and then him just wait and watch the smoke. He had an inkling that, okay, we need to maybe get another pick before we can actually get that spike down, and is just so patient. Lets his teammate cover off other angles and just holds that position for an unfathomable amount of time. That's why you see the risk taken. There was no information for 100 Thieves at that point in their early start. Their 5-1 lead has diminished into nothing. Nongshim may have fallen for the trap of picking Sunset, but it seems like they're perfectly comfortable over on Lotus.
Oh, old pop by Danby. Already taking down Cryo and looks for more towards backside. Asuna, yeah, I mean, he's in a good spot, but they didn't push in. It looked like they'd invade the smoke for a moment, but 100 Thieves think better of it. Wait a while, and then Danby, still with a sliver of health, is running around, fighting everybody. 1 HP before he's finally put to bed. Danby coming back with a vengeance. Seems to have locked in that lead at halftime. Bang, up against the clock, running it down, doing his best, but his best not even nearly good enough.
God, that is just the level that this man can bring. There was a moment where they decided not to be putting him on this Neon anymore, to put him here and there throughout stage 1. And boy, am I glad to see him back on an agent that makes him so comfortable and makes everybody else so uncomfortable. 25 HP is how much he had after that first battle, and from then onwards, you'd think maybe he'd play it safe, but absolutely not. While on 1 health, he takes down 2. And in the end, for the rest of his team, it was easy to clean that one up. Someone else, though, who is always easy on the ears. Let's go down to Ian Chambers.
Cheers, Tom. As we go along this week, we are going to be joined by incredibly special guests throughout this process. And it doesn't get more special than this. We are in the City of Love, and 100 Thieves, Bang, has got some serious support out here. His mum, Tina, and Aunt Mary are loving this experience. Tina, what do you think of all of this?
This is just a blessing to be here. Paris is beautiful. The fans are amazing. We're rooting for 100 Thieves. So proud of Sean, and we know that they are going to win.
Oh, I love the confidence from Mama here. How is it feeling on your side, Mary? How has this experience been for you so far?
It has been so precious. It's such an honor to be here with all of you fans to support my nephew, Sean, and his teammates at 100 Thieves. It's amazing.
Brilliant. I'm just going to bring you forward just a touch. Listen, you guys have traveled a long way to come here to Paris. You're from Los Angeles. Yeah. You've come all the way from New York. What does it feel like to be watching esports in such a tremendous part of Europe?
This is just a dream come true, especially for a mom. I'm so emotional because I love these guys, love Sean and this team, and everyone at 100 Thieves. Thank you, boys. You're killing it.
And they can win?
Absolutely.
All right. Did you know that he was going to be doing this when he was a little kid, just briefly?
Make no mistake, those cheers are also for Ian Chambers. We love to see him doing his thing down in that arena, and we also love to see the players doing just the same. It has been a big bounce back from Nongshim, who seemed determined to bring us to a map 3. It's a semi-final. You never want to see them go by quickly. Unless you got a game tomorrow, I suppose, which is true for one of these teams. 100 Thieves trailing by 2. They want that quick success. It's going to have to be a strong start to the attack side.
Best of 5 awaits the winner. A third, fourth match awaits the loser. But the fact is, everybody wants a chance to take the title here at EWC, and of course, the team that did it last time, already out, already crushed. That's another thing. You don't want to watch your key get crushed, your name shattered by that wonderful machine behind. Timotino, though, into the space they take. Every pistol thus far has gone the way of 100 Thieves. Is it going to be another one? Well, he needs an early escape.
Yeah, right agent for it, though. Nice paranoia through. Vora forced into a fight, but still holding on for dear life. A lot of tags in from Nongshim, and now they look to close it out. Their hard work finally paying off with a pistol round for Nongshim.
This is the difficult thing when facing this squad. It feels like you can start putting narratives on the table about like what side of the map they're good on, or maybe their pistol ratio and how things have been going so far. And when they have momentum, it all becomes irrelevant. Like, that's what this team has in droves. They just believe that they can run over opposition. And honestly, with 7 rounds in a row now, my gaze is going to look towards 100 Thieves of when can you stop them? When can you slow this team down? They did it in the last map, but they did it slightly quicker than this. And of course, in this round, oh, not a single upgraded pistol. It's just going to be the classics.
There we go, Dambi connecting for a couple up against the pistols. It is an easy, flawless round for Nongshim. That's certainly going to get the confidence back into play for this squad. Like you said, for 100 Thieves, the question is, can they stop them now? Can they slow them? We knew that Nongshim looked like a completely different team on the last map. Deactivated everything that worked for them before, stopped working for them over there. A lot of that I would put down to the composition that was in play. But now, everything that was there is back. Ivy's having the game, or more so, the tournament that he was. Dambi is doing Dambi things. But 100 Thieves are buying rifles. This is their line in the sand, their moment to stop Nongshim before it spirals out of control.
It's worth noting versus mates, 10 rounds in a row. It's what Nongshim won to bring it back. 100 Thieves have got to try and stop that early, but they're very nearly there already. Much earlier than last time out, and an aggressive stance, but it seemed like the Thieves had it under control. They were patiently waiting instead. It's an early trade of damage. RB still going back in and very nearly clearing Vora. While cowering in their spawn, the Thieves have managed to cling to life versus the bonus, but they still have no idea where Ivy is.
I certainly know where his utility is with the wall going up. It hasn't left them perturbed whatsoever. The B site's still the target. The snake bite will get them in.
30 seconds left.
Nongshim will hope that an opportunity is offered up.
Spike
The
planted.
golden plate, it might be Cryo in the corner. No, it's a quick swing in from Timotino. If he was slightly slower to react, there would have been some real danger there, but it's a formality to close out for 100 Thieves, a necessary win.
Yeah, and you look at the way that this round was played by Nongshim, you can see they wanted to almost just trip them from behind, get right up in their face in the early stages of the round and not allow them anything. It was a good attempt at a bonus round with how much damage they were able to do. But the fact is, although they'd broken the streak of rounds slightly earlier than the mates managed, there's an operator coming back. There's full rifles for the rest.
I'm out of here.
They're saying that RB has taken a nasty tag very early on this round.
A lot of this is going to come down to Dambi by the looks of things. The rotations as the heals go through onto RB on the A site. There's only one man on C. Some utility to help him out. The vice wall reposition will delay them somewhat. Indeed, a flash over has stopped them almost completely, but 100 Thieves seem to be... Oh, Ivy! That's a sneaky play to get right through. Timotino did not see that coming, and it's given them the early info on the rotation that the ramp is coming over to this A site. You've already got X-Ross on the cross, but the Viper wall cuts him off. 100 Thieves even then challenge through it. Take him down. Put us into a 3v4 with a big pick from Francis.
Puts the advantage back. Stun creates an awkward position for Asuna. Isolates both players, leaving him stunned. Now they need a hero. That's a nice shot from Bang, but he has to do everything, and as he looks to move forward to take a fight, he is caught from behind. As said, they may have ended the streak, but that hasn't changed the outlook. The third map seemingly on the horizon, as there is no brakes on the Nongshim train.
There's a really nasty pickup by Ivy, especially. Like, if Timotino's still alive in this fight, considering like he's been the one looking for those deeper challenges, there's more pressure onto someone like Danby. There's more bodies there. They needed it. The important pickups found by Ivy. The formalities there for Danby. It gave the rounds have been big money-making opportunities for Nongshim as well. They've been pretty clean. You have to hope for 100 Thieves that they can at least draw blood.
The worry is that since their lead, it's only been a singular round versus a bonus. 100 Thieves haven't given us anything in this map other than those first 4 or 5 to make us believe that they are going to take this in a 2-0 fashion. Nongshim have not been winning games cleanly, but they have been winning games. Over the top goes one. At least making things a bit more costly. Maybe the Mitchman curse can help them out a little bit, because it might not be going cleanly until Danby arrives, but he's now been tagged down to 10 HP. There's a real chance here. A swing back from Cryo. He believes that he can win this round. The pit to give him some space. Danby might not respect that space. In fact, he certainly won't, and is punished because of it. A stun up. Leaves Cryo a little bit lower than expected. He has no idea where his opponent's coming from, and instead, but on the edge of this, his opponent just knows! Did he show anything out of that pit, or was that just a sixth sense?
I think when he crouched and looked to the right, his foot might have stuck out of the very bottom, and there is a chance. I have to believe, I have to believe that, or I'm gonna have to accuse him of wall hacking. It's one or the other. That was a little bit crazy. I don't know if we'll even see it in the replay.
அதான் கடுப்புல போயிட்டு வந்து கஷ்டம் காம்படிட்டிவ் பாயிண்ட்ஸ் எவ்வளவு நினைக்கிறேன் ஓவர் டைம் மேல ஓவர் டைம் ஆகி 15க்கு 16ல வின் பண்ணோம் 14க்கு 16க்கு வின் பண்ணோம்
I'm telling you, in my head I was begging him not to, but the second
last round
immediately put his gun up because he was like, I know that crazy little guy's going to come in. I know he's going to do it. And eventually he thinks, oh, I guess he's not. Nope. Right in at the last second. Into today, very ready for it. Because it's one thing to go, oh.
Dealing too well. All right. Come on, they are not. Dealing too well.
என்ன டீம் இது?
Arsenal, that's one hell of a start. But there's Danby once again. You thought losing 2 players might deter, but look at where they are. 2 players are still pushing towards the spawn. Danby that they just died from. The A site is known to be the more vulnerable. And an early post plant, an ultimate online for Bora. This is a very good opportunity now for 100 Thieves.
One slip up though, and Danby will pull that advantage back into neutral territory instead. It's Cryo, showing he's still got the opping chops to take down Danby. And a 4v2 for Nongshim. Plenty of runway for this squad, but seems like the right call.
Finances are rough.
You know Cryo sat there with an operator as well. He's probably losing the first one who breaks through that wall, and then the credits really start to run dry. Yeah, you can take an eco. You can take 2 in a row if you want. Really build up some cash. There is a lot of rounds for 100 Thieves to catch up on, a lot of ground to make up. That's a very successful start to what needs to be a comeback.
Yeah, good hold off the early aggression. It's the same thing we needed to see in terms of the reaction to the last map. I think especially after a pause, you can kind of understand why Nongshim would do that. You go, okay, they've taken a pause. Whatever they plan, let's try and disrupt them. But the dodge of the flash, 2 quick shots, and even though he falls, it leaves so much space available to 100 Thieves to fill in, get in the post, and then have quite a lot prepared. And the fact is, they didn't use the ultimates in the last round, so they have them to play with in this one.
A few tags up for Cryo early on. He hoped he'd get his reward with a late push-up, but it is an operator stalemate that I think is about to come to a head. Cryo peeking through the wall will block Danby off. And Danby just sits and waits. While that stalemate's playing out, you can see that 100 Thieves are starting to scrap towards the C site, attempting to pull those rotations to get peeks out on the A site by pressuring the other side. But that peek never comes through. Danby, the most aggressive player that I think I've ever seen in the game, has sat in a corner for the last minute, staring at this angle, waiting for somebody to come stepping forward. And even as this wall goes up and down, this man refuses to move. He is waiting for a reward that he knows is on the way.
Gotta be careful, though.
But now he's in a bit of pressure, a bit of trouble surrounded like this.
Another angle. I don't know how Francis isn't aware of that.
30 seconds
It was
left.
very clearly documented by Danby. And there's the patience, but he actually misses. Okay, he is human. Now the overdrive comes in. Late flank caught. Showstopper popped immediately. 18 seconds for 100 Thieves. And the TP almost seemingly used as a bit of a ruse. Instead, it's going to work out. The Showstopper is taken down. And the remaining players looking to try and find a way back in. Timatino's position is perfect, though. Already executing one. The swinging from Danby, though. He's been handed a rifle. Given the opportunity to try and break the lines of the opponent's bang, playing up close is not long for this world. And now the deeper positioned players need to try and hold the line, but it's all down to Bora, and he will not be able to. 12 found by Nongshim, 1 away from a third map.
Close this out, and I think Haven is owed between these two teams. I feel like both have had their time in the limelight in this series, but we want to see both Titans standing tall at the same time.
I want that Phoenix battle. I'll be brutally honest with you. That's what I've been most excited for today. We've dodged it so far. RB, what is this? RB, what are you doing? This is madness in the smoke behind the entirety of the opponents, and now his teammates look to swing in. They've dealt with it reasonably well, but Francis then drops the spike. RB maybe making the most aggressive play of the day, and Francis is there to close it. Nongshim will not go down without a fight. They are taking us to 3.
It does feel like both of these teams.
But I love the vibes more from the Nongshim team. I said, look, they got plot 18-7. I hate not having.
Side, who
is this? RB most excited.
Tall at the same time.
I want that Phoenix battle. I'll be brutally honest with you. That's what I've been most excited for today. We've dodged it so far. RB, what is this? RB, what are you doing? This is madness in the smoke behind the entirety of the opponents, and now his teammates look to swing in. They've dealt with it reasonably well, but Francis then drops the spike. RB maybe making the most aggressive play of the day, and Francis is there to close it.
Nerves. I've been there. I know the feeling. It's a horrible.
It is really.
Do you find it? Because obviously you were a coach for a very long time. You're very successful. To run up the numbers here.
Emil, final thoughts? I think Haven's really good map. Doomros and NBS really good coaches on Haven as well.
Yeah.
So
A little bit biased there.
no, not at all. I'm not biased at all. Obviously, I think Heart of Thieves are gonna win. So yeah.
All right. Well, before we get into that final map, Puckett is standing by right now with some Vitality fans here in Paris.
EWC floor, and as you can see, there is a line wrapping around the booth as everybody's waiting to see Vitality. Sir, who do you want an autograph from today?
Every team. I prefer Turkey for the best culture with perfection.
I love that call. We're going to get that for you. We've got some gentlemen's jerseys. I've got a Cloud9 jersey. Young man, what are you doing at the Vitality booth?
I'm a super fan, but I'm looking to meet some of the players over here. I'm very excited.
And who do you guys want to meet today? Who are you most excited to get an autograph from?
It's a nice cross from Starso. I don't know if he has time for this one though, Kev. It's going to be very close. Oh, that is unbelievable. Also,
Welcome back to the eSports World Cup 2026 Valorant semifinals. We are on map number 3, and before we throw it to Tom and Mitch, we got ourselves Agent Select. Welcome back, Digon here alongside Big Time Athena and former head coach and champion of EMEA, Emil, who's definitely not biased at all for his brother's team, Doom Bros' team, 100 Thieves. He's going to break down Agent Select with us.
That's kind of crazy that you're throwing him under.
I'm just saying. Hey, look.
Wow.
Big Time is by himself here. So I just needed to make sure that we all knew what's what.
Yeah, that's true.
I can stave off all the bias in the world. I'm feeling fantastic for Nongshim. What do you mean? They're riding so high after the last map. They stole away their opponent's map pick, moving across the Haven. Whether I know it's going to be electric, baby. They got Danby. We know. How are you going to stop them if you're 100 Thieves? You just can't.
How dare you say Nongshim is good? Let's go 100 Thieves. Come on. No bias here. No bias.
No bias.
No, I hope they pick something good for Haven here. Something classic. Something that I know what they're going to do here.
Old school, a little bit of Breach. Is that what you want to see? Back from your day?
I would love a Breach.
I hate Breach.
It doesn't look like we've got it coming out from Nongshim. This is the double duelist that they are so well known for. Danby on the Neon, X-Ross on that Phoenix. Now, just cast your mind back. That G2 game, the attacker side was insanely dominant there, really running up the numbers. So for me, the pressure is on 100 Thieves to counter with what looks to be a mirror comp here.
Yeah, but 100 Thieves, they both beat MIBR and BBL in EWC so far. BBL, obviously one of our teams, making it all the way through to semifinals. And here, both these teams, the copycat matchup, but I think it's really on Asuna and Timotino here if I'm looking on the side of 100 Thieves. It feels like I've been saying that all series long. We saw Cryo have a really good first game. That second game looks like they were struggling just quite a bit, but now these two, they've proven themselves as those duelists, getting a lot of those opening picks and just being enabled across the map.
Emil, if you had to pick one player that needs to step up in the server right now, who would it be?
I would say Asuna. I think Asuna's Phoenix and him having impact here is going to be the key for them to win.
Asuna's Phoenix, X-Ross's Phoenix. It's going to be a huge matchup, mirror match in terms of the agents, but only one will be able to look themselves in the mirror knowing they are going to the grand finals. Always looking good in the mirror are our casters for map number 3. It's Mitchman and Tom.
It's always fun to see both Doom Bros on the broadcast. A deadly duo in everything except for a show match. Now it's time to see if one of those Doom Bros who's going to be going all the way to the grand final for 100 Thieves and Nongshim. Everything is the same map, the same composition. The only difference is the players on the server.
Yeah, I think we come into this and now the sort of gaze switch towards 100 Thieves. Can they pick themselves up after that defeat on their map choice? Timotino having a bit of a rougher time. A shutdown after what was a stellar first map. And then for the other side, Nongshim, can they keep that pacing up? Already, though, the defensive side not shying away from a fight, but maybe they should have done. Ivy's reign of terror was something to behold on the previous map. Timotino has been excellent in these pistol rounds. Still 3 of the 4 have gone the way of 100 Thieves. Will they turn this back to their 4?
Cage triggered. Well, they start with a disadvantage, but not for long. Cryo bringing us back to even, but the spams and the smoke is deadly both ways. The wrap-up from Timotino could be the difference maker, though. He has a backstab guaranteed. Ivy looking the other way on the walk up middle. It all depends on when Timotino strikes. As the drone goes out, there's 2 players spotted in utility. A stun through. Timotino wasting no time. But Francis, stunned up with his gun up, finds himself a kill, and Nongshim the advantage.
Stuns are cosmetic. That's why everybody hates the breach now. They didn't realize you could just hit the shot anyway. Bang, though. Spots players and gets 2. He's given his teammate a wonderful chance. The Sova versus Sova, the doppelganger, one has to fall. Francis trying to bait the idea that he's on this side, but he is walking towards A. Timing just about gets around the corner. But Vora now is going to almost have to just keep his position hidden. Francis won't be aware of how close his opponent currently is and looks to reset the battle, looks to get towards short, hunt for where his opponent went. A game of cat and mouse with neither side really giving the game away of who is the cat, who is the mouse, who is the hunter, who is the hunted. As that defuse gets to halfway, Vora now gives himself a little bit of extra time, but he is being flanked on. He turns, and it's Francis. Francis is the one to win the fight. The hunter takes the first round.
Now Vora got sight on him first. Francis played that one blind, played it off instinct. But it was enough for Nongshim, and this was the most impressive of all. How he survives there. It doesn't just bring it to the man advantage for Nongshim, it keeps the spike under their control, under his control. And that's exactly what this pistol round was. A 1-0 start for Nongshim, and an eco for 100 Thieves to follow. And this really does feel like a true decider, a true middle ground of these squads. These compositions, I think, where both have shined the brightest. And I'd have to agree with what was said over on the desk by our wonderful Emil. If there's a player to step up here, if there's a player we expect to see hit another level, it is Asuna, and he has to. We know that X-Ross delivers almost every time he's on this agent.
Yeah, and well, even if he doesn't, the depth of talent that they have is just absurd. Danby's about to walk into the stack. Funnily enough, even though it's a stack, I still sit there and wonder how many players does he get? 1, 2 already. Bear in mind, he's completely alone and no one else is here. You think maybe he's walked into a trap, but the fact is, they were locked in with him. You surround a beast. And well, maybe, just maybe, there's an ounce of fear, but not for Danby. Timotino now looks to try and do the same, but he doesn't have the weaponry to replicate that sort of magic, and they're looking to try and kill him off and keep this round clean. He wanted to not go down to X-Ross, but in the end, he falls to the man he didn't want to give the orb.
And that puts X-Ross up to the ultimate, the run it back online coming into round number 3, the bonus round. You know, you stack a site like this, thinking that if the whole team pushes, you'll have enough there to deal with at least a few of them to make it costly. Well, they sent only one man with a sniper rifle into a pit of snakes, and he came out with the anti-venom. Crazy performance from Danby. As we said, the run it back for X-Ross available, and he is wasting no time. It's already activated, and it's used for the plant.
Yeah, he's just going to get them into a post-plant scenario, just about. We'll be able to get rid of it. Now, counter spam can come from Vora. A chance to maybe bait them in with a tap onto that plant. But it's definitely easier said than done. Bear in mind, this is a lower purchase for Nongshim. If you're a 100 Thieves fan, they can't afford to get away with this round, but already it's looking pretty good. 2 quick kills. That Odin already deleted, and the remaining 2, they don't know they're being backstabbed. Danby did not stop pushing. He never stopped pushing. It's left to bang, a nice double, but there is 3 for Danby. And a round close, a bonus converted.
I love the idea from Nongshim to start this out with just the ult used from the Phoenix for a plant. He was looking for nothing else. No deep control, no fight. And the normal response when you hear that ult activated is to fall back, is to give the space. They know that, so rather than hunt deep for a kill, they take the advantage that's being given to them. And as you said, Danby's continued push, it was only meant to be a safety net. They almost needed to fall on it with Bang finding that triple, but the time at that point was already applying enough pressure. 3-0 start, and now a very low buy from 100 Thieves.
You mentioned earlier on that if you have a stack, you send one man into it, and he gets 4 kills. You're hoping maybe you can catch everyone, but instead you just get 1. sometimes this man feels like a team. We have seen this multiple times where he goes into a site alone and comes out with an advantage for his squad. This time, though, he has been shut down. A lot of damage being done. Bang again. He's already had a few kills stacking up, but even with what they built, it's going to be difficult. Oh, man, that we were hoping to step up ends up maybe having his worst whiff of the tournament so far. Even still, both players low enough. The Cryo at least has some hope.
Well, a shot to the body will be enough. The drone, it didn't see him. No, they haven't caught him just yet. One shot to the body enough, but it's the headshot on the Francis! Oh! And the follow-through on RB! It looked like a whiff might have thrown their chances out the window. But Cryo is there to put them 3-1. A man who had an incredible performance on Sunset. He was the man. Was shutting this squad down, indeed, on the Cypher, doing the damage, and he's here to do it yet again in a round that really 100 Thieves look to have no hope in.
Yeah, they started well. Well, that's a very stressed look at MBS. We've said it already that these are two very different looking teams. A team that in the past won Ascension and made it all the way to win a Masters. And sure, a couple of teams that were, or players that were gunning for Ascension last year over on 100 Thieves. But their investment over the years has been clear. Their success has not. Nongshim managed to do it incredibly quickly through their rise. Is this going to be the day for 100 Thieves to make it to a grand final? Or will Nongshim be turning 2026 into their year?
They've traded drones out on B. Nongshim putting that in from window. I don't think they were worried about the mid take, but I guess just showing some presence after 100 Thieves did the same. The defensive side, that's the first piece of actual info they've had to work with in a minute. I've seen one player towards A long.
They're not shying away. In fact, they've heard the operator ring out bullets, and they want to try and challenge it. Still quite a lot of Cypher utility, but that first trip, I don't believe, has been caught. Instead, a problem. Bora finds the first. They managed to deny the ult, and again, Danby just looks to take over. Still a player in the corner, but even though Cryo might be in the dark, he just about survives. The spams trade back evenly. Cryo's still incredibly low, but they haven't found him, and he's dropped the spike. A low HP X-Ross, but he'll catch him with the jump. That's going to be an opportunity to get the plant down. His opponent a little bit further away, and nothing that Bang can do to stop him, but there's only 10 HP, an ultimate for X-Ross. If he can get around the corner, he might be able to pop it. Instead, he swings. But Bang had such an HP advantage that he's able to close that out.
Yeah, it's a bad corner to be stuck in with that Phoenix ult. Like, you pop the ult, you swing out. Sure, it's going to reset your health right away when you die, but the spam is going to come through quite quickly. And in most positions, you're not going to get anything from there. But the straight swing out, as you saw, the bullets whiz past Bang's head, but the shot not quite landing. That looked crazy, though. Seeing Francis just run it down with the spike towards short in the 2v2.
Yeah.
They obviously really wanted to deal with that player, but that was a hiccup that gave 100 Thieves a chance.
Well, yeah, it looked like Danby had already done enough. It seemed like they're not shying away from this fight. Pop flash ready, but Arsenal maybe thinking better of it. There's the pop, but no reaction off of it. Maybe hoping to hear some spam that might give them a little bit of information. Instead, now comes the ult.
Oh, it's close, but it's only damage, at least to start, as X-Ross goes down. Danby follows, numbers kept even. The drop down from RB heard, and it's Bang to pounce on him. But the team being taken, it gives Nongshim back the advantage, the upper hand reclaimed. They run it back. It was already used up early on. X-Ross is back to full HP, nice and healthy. Francis not quite in the same boat, and they called to just freeze. Wait for 100 Thieves to run dry on information, to make a gamble, maybe flee the site, or maybe stand in no man's land. That ultimate from Ivy now will find Cryo. They'll have the information to work with. The spike is already running the other way.
Yeah. I think if you're anyone else, if it's any other team, I think Cryo starts running the other way. But he probably believed in that moment, actually, they're going to try and kill me. They're going to try and kill me. They're not going to let me flee the scene and reset this fight. With Ivy throwing those cages, it held him to the other side of the map. I think the call's also been made that our economy cannot cope with a 1v3 attempt on the 100 Thieves side. The 4-2 scoreline will be guaranteed for Nongshim, and Cryo, all he can hope to do is hold on to the gun.
There's some decent ideas starting this out from 100 Thieves. The idea of the flash, it looked strange in the moment to see Asuna step back into the smoke and fire a flash out onto long. But at the exact same moment, a reveal came through from Vora. The idea, obviously, blind them up, buy yourself a half a second, but just enough for the first ping to get the information. But it was broken immediately. And so 100 Thieves knew, okay, there's players here, the rotates start. They're batting down the hatches, they deal with X-Ross on the run through. They contain that mid-fight as well. The chaos of the late round not managed well. It was this push through from Danby. The fact that, again, he finds so much value with Asuna down and out. RB traded with this TP, or the TP that was taken moments later from Bang. The ult pop by Ivy, the information found. It definitely looked for 100 Thieves like they had the upper hand. I think especially after they dealt with the run it back and found mid-lurk.
100 Thieves feeling the pressure once again. Both teams have been quite sparing with their pauses. I feel like MBS's words have been heard throughout this series so far. Of course, for 100 Thieves, there was a lot of pressure on this org. You go back and they've had moments added.
நீ பேசுறது ஸ்ட்ரீம்ல கேக்கலடா. ஆமா. நான் நடுவுல வந்து பார்த்தேன், அப்போ வந்து சதீஷ் பேசிட்டா நீ பேசல.
With the investment into
எதுவும் கேக்கல. மைக்ரோஃபோன் ஏதாவது யூஸ் பண்றியா?
There's always high expectations when you put on that 100 Thieves jersey. Whereas for Nongshim,
என் வாய்ஸ் கேக்குதா?
showing that they weren't just
கேக்கும்.
a one and done.
இது மூணாவது மேட்சா?
ஆமா.
ஓகே. லாஸ்ட் ரெண்டு மேட்ச் யார் ஜெயிச்சாங்க?
ஃபர்ஸ்ட் மேட்ச் 100 T, செகண்ட் மேட்ச் NS.
செகண்ட் மேட்ச் ஆமா, செகண்ட் மேட்ச் பார்த்தேன், அவங்க சரியா பெர்ஃபார்ம் பண்ணல.
ஆமா. ஃபர்ஸ்ட் 0-5-0 ன்னு வந்தாங்க.
அப்புறம் 5-8 க்கு வந்தாங்க. கம்பேக் கொடுத்தாங்க நல்லா.
டைம் அவுட் எடுத்தாங்க. அந்த டைம் அவுட்ல கம்பேக் கொடுத்தாங்க.
ஓகே ஓகே. பிரான்சிஸ் சோவா எடுத்தான். நைஸ் ஆல்ட்.
அவ்வளவுதான்.
நைஸ் சூப்பர்.
வுமன் மட்டும் இருக்கா.
4-1 1v4 லியான் கிட்ட. 1v4 ஆமா 1v4 ஷீல்ட் இல்ல வுமன் கிட்ட. நைஸ் ஷாட். நல்ல பேக் டு பேக் நல்ல கம்பேக் கொடுத்தாங்க.
பகலா
டிலேல இருக்கா?
ஆமா இல்ல கரெக்ட்டா இருக்கு.
ஓகே கார்வன் ப்ரோ யார் ஜெயிப்பாங்க ப்ரோ? கார்வன் ப்ரோ இருக்கீங்களா? யார் ஜெயிப்பாங்க? ஹலோ கார்வன் ப்ரோ பேசுங்க ப்ரோ, மைக் ஆன் பண்ணீங்க, பேசுங்க ப்ரோ, கேட்கல.
ஓடிண்டா
அங்க பா ஸ்டிங்கர் பாரு. யார் ஜெயிப்பாங்க?
ஓடிண்டா பண்றா. ஆல்ட்ல யார மாத்த 100 T.
ஓகே. என்ன இது லாஸ்ட் மேட்சா?
ஆமா டிசைடர் இதான். ஏன் 100 T?
நைஸ் ஷாட். நைஸ் வால் பேங்.
100 T கார்பன். 100 T ஜெயிவாங்க.
அங்க பாத்தியா ஃபீனிக்ஸ் மாலி போட்டான்?
பார்த்தேன்.
என்னடா அப்படி ப்ளே பண்றாங்க சாமி. ஏன் காரணம் ப்ரோ 100 Thieves எதுக்கு சப்போர்ட் பண்றீங்க?
இல்ல ப்ரோ கம்பேக் கொடுக்கலாம்ல அதுக்கு தான்.
ஓகே
நீ எதுக்குடா NS
நான் வந்து 100 years நான் பேசுறேன்.
100 யார் ரைட்டி.
நீ
யார் ஜெயிச்சா என்ன?
நைஸ். அவங்க லைனப் பாத்தியா?
தெரியும்.
காமனா சைஃபர் எல்லா மேட்ச்லயும் சைஃபர் இருக்கு.
இல்ல போன மேட்ச்ல இல்ல.
போன மேட்ச்ல இல்ல. டேய் தம்பி சொல்றது கேளுடா. டேய் சொல்றது கேளுடா.
இப்ப வின்னா வாங்க.
வின்னா வாங்க.
இப்ப என்ன தெரியுமா? ரெண்டு பேரும் ஒரே லைனப் தான்.
ஆமா அப்படியா?
ஆமா.
ஓகே ஓகே. Guardian, இது எக்கோ ரவுண்டா இல்ல இப்படி?
இல்ல.
நீஸ் என்ன ஸ்கேர் பண்ணாங்க ரவுண்ட. ஆனா பாத்தீனா இந்த லைனப்ஸ்ல ரைனா ஜெட் அது மாதிரி எதுவுமே இல்ல பாத்தியா?
அதான்
டோர்னமெண்ட்ல நம்ம மட்டும் தான் கொஞ்சம் மென்டல் மாதிரி விட்டு போறோம் லைனப்ஸ்ல. அதான்
ஓடி நெட்டே ஆடுறாங்கடா டேய்.
ஆமா
நம்மள ஓடி நெட்டா என்ன சொல்லுவோம்?
பச்சை திட்டுவாங்க. ட்ரோன் விட்டாங்க ட்ரோன். சரி மேட்ச் பார்க்கலாம். இப்போ வந்து அவங்க மேப் பாத்தீங்கன்னா மேப் பார்த்தோம்னா அவங்க வந்து பி சி யாருமே இல்ல.
மிட்ல இருக்காங்க.
பி தான் ஐ திங்க் பி தான் புஷ் பண்ண போறாங்க. கேம்ல இருக்காங்க. சைஃபர் ஆஃப்ல இருக்காங்க. ஆமா ஹோல்ட் பண்றாங்க. டபுள் ஸ்விங் இப்போ ஓமன் ஃபீனிக்ஸ் சைஃபர் வந்து அந்த சி விண்டோ. ஓகே சி யாருமே இல்ல பட் அவங்க சில இருக்காங்க. ஆமா ரீபோஷன் பி ல யாருமே இல்ல. இப்போ டிஃபெண்டர்ஸ் மேபி சான்ஸ் இருக்கலாம். ஏல கூட யாருமே இல்ல. ஆமா பாத்தீங்கன்னா ஏல கூட யாரும் இல்ல. ஏல சுத்தமா இல்ல. ஏல ட்ரிப்ஸ்ல எதுவுமே இல்ல. பேக் ஸ்டாப் 100 பீஸ்ல பேக் ஸ்டாப் அவங்க நோட்டீஸ் பண்ணிட்டாங்க. ஓகே நைஸ் நோட்டீஸ் பண்ணிட்டாங்க.
எல்லாம் எக்ஸ்போஸ் ஆயிட்டாங்க.
ஓகே ஆமா பி புஷ் பண்றாங்களா? பி புஷ் பண்றாங்க.
2v5 1v4
இருக்கலாமா? இல்ல சான்ஸ் இல்ல. முடிச்சு விட்டாங்க. கொஞ்சம் கஷ்டமா தான் இருக்கு. இப்போ 100 கியூஸ்க்கு கம்பேக் கொடுக்கணும் கண்டிப்பா அவங்க.
இப்ப சொல்லுங்க யார் ஜெயிப்பா?
இப்போ வந்து சொல்ல முடியாது. டைம் எடுத்து கம்பேக் கொடுத்தாங்கன்னா
still 100 யா?
still 100 தான்.
ஓகே
ஏய் யார்டா அது? பொண்ணா பையனா?
தெரியலப்பா.
எங்க நடந்துட்டு இருக்கு இது மேட்ச்? எங்க நடக்குது? பாரிஸ். ஓகே ஓகே
டிக்கெட் போடுங்க ப்ரோ. நீங்க இத பத்தியா மாலிய பத்தியா?
டிக்கெட் எல்லாம் போட மாட்டோம். மிஸ் பண்ணிட்டான் மாலி. அவங்க தெரியுமா இருக்காங்க? வெயிட் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கான்
தெரியும். கேம்ப் அடிப்பாங்கன்னு தெரியும். மாலி பவுன்ஸ் ஆகி போச்சுடா.
ஆமா சி யாருமே புஷ் பண்ண மாட்டேங்கிறாங்க.
லாங் அல்ல ப்ரோ அது. லைக் ஒரே புல்லட்ல அடிக்கலாம்.
ஆமா ஒன் டேப்ஸ் மாதிரி. ஆல்ட் ஃபீனிக்ஸ் ஆல்ட்
என்எஸ் ரெண்டு பேர் காலி. அவ்வளவுதான் மாட்னாங்க. மாட்லாம் காலி.
ஐயோ சைஃபர் எங்க போயிட்டு இருக்கான்? அவன் பிளான்ட் எங்க தெரியல. சைஃபர் எங்க போயிட்டு இருக்கான்? போறானா?
அந்த சைஃபருக்கு இது லோ எக்ஸ்போஸ் ஆயிட்டா.
முடிஞ்சிச்சு. கிளட்ச் பண்றது ரொம்ப கஷ்டம். ஆனா சீரியஸாவே
ஆனா இந்த 100 வந்து ஹோல்ட் பண்ண மாட்டேன்றாங்க.
ஆமா ப்ரோ.
ஆமா ஒண்ணே ஏறிறாங்க. அடிக்கலாம்.
ஃபர்ஸ்ட் மேட்ச்ல கூட அவங்க ஹோல்ட் பண்ண மாட்டேங்கறாங்க. ரஷ் அடிச்சிராங்க.
பாப்போம் டைம் அவுட்ல ஆஃப் டைம்க்கு அப்புறம் என்ன? கொரியன் கேங் அப்ப இவ்வளவு நேரம் நான் பேசினதெல்லாம் வேஸ்டாடா?
இப்ப கேக்குமா? எனக்கு இப்ப டவுட்டா இருக்கேன்.
இப்ப கேக்கும்.
எத்தனை பேர் இருக்காங்க? 100 மெம்பர்ஸா 200 மெம்பர்ஸா சாட்ல? ஓடின் வால் பேங்க் ட்ரை பண்றாங்க பட் மாட்டல.
ஆமா
ஓமன் வெயிட் பண்றான்.
அல்ட்
ஓகே ஓ மை காட் ஓமன் மேல சான்ஸ் இருக்கு இப்போ.
அவ்வளவுதான்.
ஓ மை காட் ஓமன் ரெண்டு பேர் எடுத்துட்டான். கரெக்டா
இன்னும் 2 பேர் இருப்பான்.
கமான் சூப்பர் பிளைண்ட் சூப்பர் ரஷ்.
அல்ட் போட்டு வந்துட்டான்.
100 யூஸ் W 100 யூஸ் W கம்பேக் தராங்க 100 யூஸ்.
இல்ல
ஓமன் 3 பேர் எடுத்துட்டானா?
3 வின் ஆயிடலாம். 2 பேர் தான் இருக்காங்க.
2 பேர் எடுத்தாங்க. ஓகே நல்ல ட்ரேட் ஆஃப் தான்.
3v4 தான்.
எங்க புஷ் பண்றாங்க அவங்க? பி மடி ஒரு இது அடிக்குறாங்க போல, பேக் அடிக்குறாங்க போல. ஸ்னைப்பர் செட்டப் பேக் ஸ்டாப் எல்லாம் பாத்துட்டான். நியான் அங்க தான் இருக்கான், சீல இருக்கான்.
நியான் பின்னாடி இருக்கான்.
ஆமா ட்ரிப்ஸ் காண்டி ட்ரிப்ஸ் ஹோல்ட் ஆயிட்டு இருக்கு இல்ல. இல்லாட்டி ரஷ் அடிச்சிருப்பான். பாத்தியா ட்ரிப்ஸ்னால தான் ஹோல்ட் இருக்கு இப்போ.
நியானா பாத்தியா?
அதான் நியான் தான்.
இப்போ 100 தான் வேணும்.
ஆமா 100 இப்போ ஒன் வே ஸ்மோக் போட்டாங்க அந்த பக்கம்.
நியான் புஷ் பண்றான்.
நைஸ் ஷாட் நைஸ் பிக்.
நியான் புஷ் பண்றான்.
ஒன் வே ஸ்மோக்ல ஓமன். ரெண்டு பேர் ஓடின வச்சு ரெடியா இருக்கான் சோவா. சூப்பர் எடுத்தான். இப்போ இந்த சைஃபர் அவன் என்ன பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கான்? டேய் என்னடா பண்றான்?
நைஸ். அவ்வளவுதான் வின் ஆயிட்டாங்க.
வெயிட் பண்ணா நைஸ். ஓகே கம்பேக் குடுறாங்க இப்போ.
என்னடா பண்ண
இது வெயிட் பண்ண நினைக்கிறேன். அத்தனை பேர் இருக்கான்ல இது பண்ணலாம்னு சொல்லிட்டு. பட்
இன்னொரு வின் ஆக முடியுமா
இந்த ரவுண்ட் நெக்ஸ்ட் ரவுண்ட். ஓகே இந்த ரவுண்ட் வந்து அவங்களுக்கு எப்படி எக்கானமி எப்படி இருக்கு என்எஸ்கே? இந்த இதுல இம்பாக்ட் வந்து ஓமன் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் 2 கில் எடுத்தனால அவங்க ரொட்டேட் பண்ணாங்க. இல்லாட்டி அங்கேயே அடிச்சிருப்பாங்க ரஷ்.
ஓமன் கரெக்ட்டா பேக் ஸ்டாப் பண்ணான்.
ஆமா பெர்ஃபெக்ட்டா பண்ணான். இவங்க தப்பு அந்த பக்கம் பாத்துக்கல இவங்க.
எல்லாம் எங்களுக்கு கிளியர் பண்ணல.
ஆமா
காசு
ஷாட் எடுக்கறான். ஓகே
ஓடின
மடி வால் பேங்க் ஓடின என்ன ஃபிளாஷ் அங்களுக்கு போட்டான். பி ஏ ஃபுல் ரஷ் பி ஃபுல் ரஷ் பண்ணிட்டாங்க.
அவ்வளோ பிளைண்ட்
பிளாங்க்ல இருந்தாங்க.
லிட்டில் ஸ்பேன் பண்றாங்க. இது மாட்டலாம்.
ஓகே பேக் ரெண்டு பேர் இருக்கான். ஒன் ஷாட் ஒன் டேப்
நீங்க பாக்கலாம். நானே நீங்க டபிள்யூ பண்ணா
அடிக்கலாம். ஐவே சைஃபர் அடிப்பானா? நைஸ்
போல. ஐயோ ரெண்டு நியான் காடி.
இப்போ 2 vs 3 இப்போ 1 vs 2 ஓடிங். ஓ மை காட் 100 டிஸ். அட பாவி 1 vs 3
பண்ணறான். சோ
ஆல்ட் மாட்டிட்டான்.
இல்ல மாட்டல.
ஒன் ஷாட் முடியாது. ஓ மை காட் வால் பேங்க் என்ன பீக் பண்ணினா முடிஞ்சிருக்குமா?
இல்ல முடிஞ்சிருக்காது.
நைஸ். இதுல வந்து யார் தப்பு பண்ணாங்க?
அவங்க ஹோல்ட் பண்ணாங்கல்ல.
யாரு
தெரியல. இவங்க என்எஸ் ரெட் கலர் ஷர்ட் போட்டுருக்காங்க. என்எஸ் ஒயிட் கலர் 100T. கொரியான் இல்ல
எல்லா கண்ட்ரியும் இருப்பாங்கல.
ஆமா
அந்த eSports டீம் இது கம்பெனி மாதிரி.
இவங்க என்எஸ்.
இவங்க யாரு
தெரியல.
யாருடா அவன் கண்ணாடி போட்டுட்டு?
ஃபேன் போல.
அவன் பாரு அந்த பொண்ணை பாத்துட்டு இருக்கான். அவன் பாத்தியா
பொண்ண மாதிரி இருக்காங்க.
ஏய் முர்றாடி பாத்தியா கண்ணு சைட் அடிச்சிட்டுங்க சைட்.
I think they will win this. Still feeling confident with
ஏதோ சொல்லிட்டு இருக்காரு கேக்கலாம். ஏதோ சொல்லிட்டு இருக்காரு.
எதுக்கு
கேக்கலாம் தம்பி என்ன சொல்றானா? கமெண்ட்ரி
அதுக்கு
அவன் இப்ப பொண்ண கேக்குறான். அவன் பாரு என்ன பாப்பான் பாரு. அவன் இப்போ ஜூம் அவுட் பண்ணா. டேய் கேமராமேன் ஜூம் அவுட் பண்றான். அவனை காமிடா டேய்.
எனக்கு கேம் பிடிக்காது. கார்பெட்
பஃபர்
என்னாச்சு?
போச்சா நெட் பேக் போச்சா?
Now guys I'm suggesting a little game. You know we don't do just predictions. You're going to say 100.
அவன் பாரு
வண்டியே பாக்குறான் bro. ஏய் இருங்கடா டேய்.
We don't do BFP here. This is a best of one, and let's see who can take the win. Are you guys ready? We go at shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. And that's a win for Nongshim. Let's see if Colin is right. Back to the
win ஆயிட்டாங்களா?
இல்ல எனக்கு தெரிய மாட்டேங்குது. டிஸ்ப்ளே கேப்சர்
நான் பார்த்தேன் 12
வருது இப்போ டைம் அவுட் ஆறா இப்போ பிரேக்கா
ஆஃப் டைம்
இப்போ கம்பேக் கொடுக்கலாம் நல்லா கேம்ப் ரோட்
சைட் சேஞ்ச் இப்ப
சைட் சேஞ்ச் நைஸ் இப்போ பார்க்கலாம் டிஃபெண்டிங் எப்படி பண்றாங்க 100 டியூஸ்
போன டைம் 100 டியூஸ் தான் பண்ணேன்.
ஆமா அட்டாக்கிங் எப்படி பண்ணலாம் பார்க்கலாம் 100 டியூஸ் இசன் நீங்க எப்படி என்எஸ் எப்படி பண்றாங்க டிஃபெண்டிங் பார்க்கலாம்.
என்எஸ் வந்தோனே சோவா
வந்தோனே ரஷ் அடிச்சிட்டாங்க
நியான் போறான்
வின் ஆக முடியும்.
ஓ க்ளோஸ் பண்ணிட்டாங்க. ஓகே சோவா மட்டும் தான் சைட் உள்ள சோவா மட்டும் தான் இப்போதைக்கு. ஓகே ரெண்டு பேர் தான் இருக்காங்க இப்போ ஓமன் சைஃபர்
ஸ்பைக் எடுத்து கீழ தூக்கி போட்டு போறான்.
பிளான் பண்றானே இல்லையா?
இல்லடா
சைஃபர் போறான். ஆமா நைஸ் சைஃபர் ஃப்ளட்ச் எடுக்க முடியுமா? கலெக்ட் பண்ண முடியுமா? நோ
முடியாது. டேய்
ஓ
சரியான
வேணா ஓ ஃபீனிக்ஸ் அப்படிதான் பண்றாங்க. என்ன ஹெவன்ல இருந்து இறங்குவானா? சவுண்ட் கேக்குமா? ஹெவன்ல இருந்து இப்போ கேக்கும்.
வெயிட் அங்க ரெடி பண்ணிட்டு சோவா ரெடியா இருக்கான்.
ஆமா எல்லா இடத்துலயும் இப்ப லாக் பண்ணிட்டாங்க. பின்னாடில இருந்து போறாங்க. அவங்க ஃபுட் ஸ்டெப்ஸ் எடுத்துறோம். ஓ சைபர் ஷோட நல்லா இருந்தது. நைஸ் ட்ரை.
அங்க ஃபீனிக்ஸோட கில்ல பாத்தியா?
ஆமா
4 கில் தான்.
பட் கில்ல முக்கியம் இல்ல, அவங்க லொகேஷன் அவங்க இது ஸ்ட்ராட்டஜி தான் முக்கியம்.
கில்ல முக்கியம் இல்ல, டீம் வின் தான் முக்கியம்.
ஆமா டீம் வின் தான் முக்கியம்.
தெரிஞ்சுக்கடாடி.
நம்ம டீம்ல அப்படி இல்லையே ப்ரோ.
ராக்ஸ்டார் ஒண்ணும் இல்ல வேற ஒண்ணு சொல்றோம்.
நான் சொல்லலையே டாடி சொன்னேன்டா.
நாங்க ஒண்ணு சொல்றேன். மடி ரஷ் பண்றாங்களா பார்க்கலாமா? ஸ்பெக்டர் இருக்கு. ஓகே ஃபேண்டம் எடுத்துட்டான் ஃபீனிக்ஸ். ரஷ் தான் இந்த வாட்டி. பீஸ்ட் பீல இருந்து எல்லாம் 100 டியூஸ் எல்லாம் பேக் ஸ்டாப் பீல இருந்து பாக்குறியா? பாரு வெறும் சோவா மட்டும் தான் ஹோல்ட் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கான். ஏவே
அவனும் பேக் அடிக்கிறான்.
நியான் பேக்ல இருந்து அடிக்கிறான். நியான் பேக் ஸ்டெப். ஆனா சைஃபர் ட்ரிப் இருக்காங்க.
சைஃபர் மேல வரான். ஹெவன் சைஃபர்
மணி ரொட்டேட் அடிச்சான் பாரு. பின்னாடி நியான் சைஃபர் ட்ரிப் போட்டு
ஸ்டாண்டிங் டீம் ஒன் டவுன்.
நியான் கன்ஃபியூஸ்ல இருக்கான், என்ன பண்றதுன்னு தெரியல.
ஆமா
திருப்பி வரான்.
சைஃபர் செக் பண்ண போறான் பேக் ஸ்டாப் ஒரு வாட்டி. இப்போ பேக் சைடு ரெண்டு பேர் பாத்துக்கறாங்க. சைஃபர் ஓமன் ஃபீனிக்ஸ் வால் பண்ணிட்டாங்க. சோபா பண்றாங்க. ஆமா ஆனா ஹெவன்ல யாருமே இல்ல மேல. இப்போ பிளான் பண்ணிட்டாங்க, வெயிட் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காங்க ஃபார் தி சான்ஸ். சோவா இன்னும் சாவல இருக்கான். சோவா செத்துட்டானா? நான் செத்துட்டான். ஓகே வெயிட் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காங்க டபுள் ஸ்விங் காண்டி. மோஸ்ட்லி இப்போ சாவா நினைக்கிறேன். ஃபீனிக்ஸ் செத்துருவான்.
5 பேர் இருக்காங்க.
ஓ க்ளோஸ் பண்ணிட்டாங்க. ரெண்டு பேர் க்ளோஸ் பண்ணிட்டாங்க. 100 டியூஸ். இப்போ இந்த ரஷ் அடிப்பாங்களா?
வெயிட் பண்ணிரலாம். எதுக்கு ஏறனாங்கன்னு தெரியல.
ஆமா
டைம்
டெஃப் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காங்க. ஹாஃப் டைம் ஓமா டச் பண்ண முடியாது. மோஸ்ட்லி முடியாது. ஏன்னா ஓபன் பிளாட்டிங் அவள்லாம் முடிஞ்சிச்சு. நைஸ் டெஃப். தப்பு பண்ணிட்டான் ஃபீனிக்ஸ். தப்பு பண்ணிட்டான். ஆமா ஃபீனிக்ஸ் தப்பு பண்ணிட்டான்.
தேவையில்லாத ரஷ் அது.
இப்போ இதனால அவங்களுக்கு எவ்வளவு லாஸ் இருக்கும். ஃபேண்டம் போயிடுச்சு.
கன்னெல்லாம் முக்கியம் இல்ல, பட் ஏரியா கூட அவ்வளவுதான்.
ஆமா
கன்னும் முக்கியம் தான்.
கன் இல்லாம கூட அடிப்பாரு ஒருத்தர்.
அந்த சைஃபர் கரெக்ட்டா கேட்ச் போடுறான்.
வால் மாதிரி யூஸ் பண்றான்டா அவன்.
இருக்கல. ஆமா ஓகே ப்ரோ. கார்பன் ப்ரோ நைஸா சொல்லிட்டீங்க.
And that's the moment the Nongshim Red Force decide
to
strike.
ரெண்டு பேர் கோச் இதுல.
Should have been a hope in hell that they win that
round.
அவங்க இதுல உள்ள தெரியல யாரு. அவன் பாரு சொன்னதே இருக்கு பாரு. அவன் சொட்ட
ப்ரோ ஃபுட்பால் கிரவுண்டே தெரியுது.
இவன் மாதிரி எதுக்கு எந்திரிச்சு நிட்டாங்க?
அவங்க கமெண்டேட்டர்
பிஆர்எக்ஸ் ஜெர்சி எதுக்குடா இருக்காங்க டேய்?
தெரியல
என்ன நடக்குது? என்ன நீ
யார் அது?
பிஆர்எக்ஸ் டீம் அது.
பிஆர்எக்ஸ் அவன் டீமே இல்ல.
எனக்கு பிடிச்ச டீம் பிஆர்எக்ஸ்.
ஆமா
எதுக்கு ப்ரோ
எதுக்கு பொண்ணு நல்லா இருப்பாங்களா
அதுல எங்கடா இருப்பாங்க
ஏய் மூட்றா டேய்
டிஆர்எக்ஸ் நல்லா இல்லடா
ஆஹா டிஆர்எக்ஸ் தோத்து வச்சா ஐயோ
You say going out with a whimper, that is a dream compared to what they've just experienced.
ஏய் இந்தியன்ஸ் எதுவுமே யாருமே இல்லை இந்தியன்ஸ் eSportsல
இந்தியன்ஸ் எஃப்எஃப்ல இருப்பாங்க எஃப்எஃப்ஜில
ஆமா எஃப்எஃப்ல ரோப்ளாக்ஸ்ல கொடுப்பாங்க தெரியுமா
ரோப்ளாக்ஸ்ல
கீபோர்டெல்லாம் அவங்க எடுத்து வராங்களா எப்படி
என்னது ப்ரோ
கீபோர்ட் எல்லாம்
இல்ல
கீபோர்டு மவுஸ் கீபோர்ட் மவுஸ் அவங்க தான் எடுத்து தருவாங்க இல்ல கீபோர்ட் மவுஸ் அவங்க தான் எடுத்து தருவாங்க ஏன்னா பர்சனல் ரெட்டும் இல்ல
ஸ்பான்சர்ஷிப்டா
மானிட்டர்
ஸ்பான்சர்ஷிப் தான் மானிட்டர் CPU ரெண்டுமே டொனேட் பண்ணுவாங்க
எல்லாமே
எவ்வளவு பிரைஸ் பண்ணி எவ்வளவு ஜெயிச்சா பிரைஸ் பண்ணி எவ்வளவு
மொத்தமா 7000 கோடி
7000 கோடியா 7000 கோடியாடா
24 கேம்
இல்ல 7000 கோடியா 7 crores-ஆ 7000 crores-ஆ ஐயோ எப்படிடா காசு எப்படிடா வரும் உங்களுக்கு
2000
ஆட் ரெவென்யூ
என்ன ப்ரோ
ஆட் இருக்கும் ப்ரோ லைக் லிங்க் ஆயிருப்பாங்கல்ல
ஆமா ஆமா
லெனோவா அந்த மாதிரி
24 கேம்ஸ்டா 24
கேம்ஸ்னா எல்லாம் சேர்த்து இல்ல ஜஸ்ட் வேலரன்ட்க்கு எவ்வளவு
அது தெரியல
ஓகே
Moments like that
VCTக்கு எவ்வளவு
I can't stress enough how they will break
யார் இப்ப பிரேக் எடுத்துறது 100 டீமா
it's so
தெரியல என்ன சொல்றேன் என்ன
100 டீ தான் இருப்பாங்க
100 டீ
that has to be a shared burden
எனக்கு என்எஸ் தான் ஜெயிப்பாங்கன்னு தோணுது
and sharing a burden like
எனக்கு அப்படிதான் தோணுது
100 கம்பேக் வரப்போகுது
ஆமா சொல்ல முடியாது
இன்னும் நம்பிட்டு இருக்கியாயா
இல்ல ரெண்டு வாட்டி பிளான் பண்ணிட்டாங்கல்ல ஹோல்ட் பண்ணல அவ்வளவுதான் ஒரு வாட்டி
ரவுண்ட் வித்தியாசத்தை பாரு இவங்க 10 அவன் 5
அதெல்லாம் முக்கியம் இல்ல
ஹாப்பியா தான் இருக்காங்க
நெக்ஸ்ட் மேட்ச் எவ்வளவு நெக்ஸ்ட் மேட்ச் யாருக்கு நெக்ஸ்ட் மேட்ச் யாருக்கு
NRG vs BBL
NRG vs
BBL
நம்ம பசங்க தான்
யாரு
NRG ரெண்டுமே நம்ம பசங்க தான்
NRG யாரு
நம்ம பசங்க தான்டா
அது யாரு ஒரு பிளேயர்
சரி மேட்ச் பாரு சொல்றேன் பாரு ஸ்மோக் போற மாதிரி ரஷ்னா ஏற இல்ல இந்த வாட்டி ஹோல்ட் பண்றாங்களா ஃபேக் டேய் என்னடா இது டேய் சோனி ட்ரெஸ் யாரடா இது
சரிப்பா
ஓகே ஓ மை காட் அவங்க நீ ஃபேக் பண்ணிட்டு இப்போ சி போறாங்க எல்லாரும் இப்போ ஏல 3 பேர் ஏல தான் இருக்காங்க பீல வந்து ஓமன் சைஃபர் வந்து சீல போயிட்டு இருக்கான் ஃபாஸ்டா சி ஸ்மோக் என்ட்ரி ஸ்மோக்
அவங்கள
ஃபீனிக்ஸ் என்ட்ரி பண்ணிட்டான் உள்ள ஆல்ட் போடுவானா சைஃபர் ரொம்ப லோவா இருக்கான் ஆல்ட் போட்டா நம்ம மாதிரி ஃபீனிக்ஸ் ஆல்ட் போட்டாச்சு செத்துட்டாங்க சைஃபர் ட்ரிப்பிங் இருக்கு போனா செத்துருவான் இல்ல அதான் போல
பேக் ஸ்டாப்
யா அடிக்க முடியுமா
கராஜ்ல இருக்கான்
100 திவ்ஸ் நல்லா பொசிஷன் லாக் பண்ணிட்டாங்க எல்லாரும் சோ மோஸ்ட்லி இந்த வாட்டி பேக் ஸ்டாப் நடக்காது பொசிஷன் எல்லாம் லாக் பண்ணிட்டாங்க ஸ்மோக்ல ஒருத்தன்
ஹோல்ட் பண்ணிட்டாங்க அப்படியே ஹோல்ட்
நைஸ் மாலி கரெக்ட்டா போட்டான்
இப்போ எதுக்கு ஏறானே தெரியல
அதான்
அடிச்சிட்டான் செத்துட்டான்
வெயிட் ஃபார் தி கால் வெயிட்
3v2
நைஸ் 2v1 நடக்குமா ஃபீனிக்ஸ் பண்ணுவானா ஆனா சீலாங்ல ஒருத்தர் இருக்கான் டைம் முடிஞ்சிச்சு
டைம் இல்ல
சேவ் பண்றான்
பரவாயில்லை நைஸ்
தோத்தானு ஜெயிச்சிட்டாங்க
As said, like we're going to be critical in those moments, but
so 100 gives comeback. இதுதான் டைம் அவுட்
100 டி இப்போ ஹாப்பியா இருக்காங்க
ஆமா
கண்ணு வராதா அவ்வளவு பக்கத்துல பாக்குறாங்க மானிட்டர்
எல்லாம் கண்ணாடி போட்டுருக்காங்க
நம்ம வீட்ல போன் பார்த்தாலே
and then they just play that time. They play it well.
மொபைல் கேம்லயே அவ்வளவு பக்கத்துல எல்லாம் பார்க்க மாட்டோம்
ஆமா
அது உங்க கீபோர்ட்லாம் எப்படி வச்சிருக்காங்கன்னு பாத்தீங்களா
பாத்து நம்ம கிட்ட கீபோர்ட் இப்போ லேப்டாப் என்ன பண்றாங்க என்ன பண்றாங்க இப்போ
புஷ் பண்றாங்க
இல்ல புஷ் பண்றாங்க இல்ல மேட்ச்
புஷ் பண்றாங்க
அது டிஃபரண்டா இருக்கு
என்ன புஷ் பண்றாங்க
இப்போ வந்து அவங்க ரொட்டேட் அடிக்கிறாங்க பேக் போறாங்க
அவனே ஓடிட்டான்.
யாருக்கு ஃபிளாஷ் போடுறான் ஃபிளாஷ்
ஆல்
யாருக்கு
ஏ பிளான்ட் ஐ திங்க்
கேம்ப் அடிக்கிறான்.
ஏ பிளான்ட்
ப்ரோ
மாட்டினான்.
மாட்டினா
ஏதா பிளான் இப்போ.
ஏன் சோ செத்துட்டே இருக்கான்
தெரியலையே
அவனே என்ன மாதிரி போல.
எவன்ல இருந்து குதிக்கிறான்
உங்கள மாதிரி இல்ல மூணாவது மனுஷன் ஒருத்தர் இருக்கான் பாருங்க அவன மாதிரி கம் ஆன் கோ
எவன்ல இருந்து நியான் குதிச்சான் செத்தான் பாத்தியா நியானா பாத்தியா
பாத்தேன்
ஹோல்ட் பண்ணாலே போதும்.
பேஸ்டா வேற இல்ல ஓமன் என்ன பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கான் தெரியல ஓமன் இப்ப 2 பேர் தான் இவங்க 3 பேர் இருக்கான் இவன் என்ன பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கான் இங்க
ஃபீனிக்ஸ் என்னடா பண்றான் ஃபீனிக்ஸ் என்னடா
டைமர் என்னடா பண்றான் பிளான் பண்ணி முடிச்சாங்கடா
போல ப்ரோ கில் வெயிட் பண்றான்.
ஃபீனிக்ஸ் பண்றாங்க
அதான் பார்த்தேன் ஃபீனிக்ஸ் லாஸ்ட்ல போறேன்
கீழ உட்கார்ந்துட்டு இருக்கான்
அங்க இருக்கறான் இன்னும்
பிளான்டிங் சேவ் அந்த ரவுண்ட்
மொமெண்ட் செத்து போய்
யார் இது கண்ணாடி போட்டு
ஆமா குண்டா
இங்க ஓமன பண்றா
பார்த்தேன் அவன் ஓமனா
டேய் மேப்ல செத்து போயிட்டான்னு சொன்னேன்டா
ஆமா பார்த்தேன்
அவன் தான் ஓமனா
கேம்ல காமிக்கவே மாட்டாங்களே ஓமன் முகத்தை
டைம் அவுட் என்னாச்சு டைம் அவுட்
பேக்கப் ஆள இருப்பாங்களா டீம்ல
அது கோச் 2 கோச்
நம்மள மாதிரி சப்பலா இருக்க மாட்டாங்க நம்மள மாதிரி
ப்ரோ ஆனா மூட்றா வாங்கல பைக்லயே நீ யாரா எனக்கு கைட் பண்ணறது
அதாவது
எல்லாம் சொல்ல மாட்டாங்க
ஒண்ணு நம்ம ஸ்ட்ரீம் பேன் ஆகும் ஓகேவா ரெண்டுத்துல ஏதாவது நடக்கும் அவன் காசு கொடுக்க மாட்டான் இல்லாட்டி ஸ்ட்ரீம் பேன் ஆகும் ரெண்டுத்துல ஒன்று நடக்கும் கண்டிப்பா பாத்துக்கோங்க
ஏதோ பிளான் பண்றாங்க
இல்ல எல்லாம் ஜோக்கர்
டேய் அமைதியா இருடா டேய்
எங்களுக்கு நான் கமெண்ட்ரி யாருடா அவன் ஜோக்கர் பண்ண மாதிரி இருக்காங்க எல்லாரும்
அப்ப ப்ரோ
டேய் அது க்ளோஸ் பண்ணு டேய் சி ஓகே
வேர்ல்ட் கப்ல வேர்ல்ட் டாப் டீம் தான் வரும் ப்ரோ
ஓகே ப்ரோ சி புஷ் பண்றாங்க
நம்ம டீம் எதுக்கு வரல அப்போ
நம்ம டீம் இருக்கா
எந்த டீம்
நானரேனே போதும்
எந்த டீம்
டீம் பேர் எதுவும் ஞாபகம் இல்ல 2-3 டீம் வச்சோம் எல்லாரும் செலக்ட்டாங்க பசங்க எல்லாரும்
எல்லாம் டிலீட்டே பண்ணிட்டாங்க
ஆமா ஜோடியா சுத்துறாங்க எல்லாரும்
அதான்
ஒண்ணே தான் நீயும் தான்
நான் என்னது
ஒண்ணு இல்ல பாரு பிரான்ச் பாரு
ட்ரோன் ஓட்றான் செக் பண்றான்
ரெண்டு பேர் டவுன் வந்துங்க ஐயோ
கரெக்ட்டா முடிச்சு
இப்போ கிளியர் பண்ணிட்டேன் நினைச்சிட்டு இருக்கான் ஆனா பட்
அவ்வளவுதான்
நைஸ் ஷாட்
100 டி வின முடியாது
100 டி ரெண்டு பேர் தான் 2v4 பண்ணுவாங்களா
கத்தி எடுக்கறான்
ஃப்ளெக்ஸ் பண்றான்
ஆமா
மேல ஹெவன்ல இருக்கான் ஒருத்தன் ஃபீனிக்ஸ்
ஆமா டி பேட்டா சோ oh my god சித்தான் oh my god போட்டிருக்கான் பிஆர்எக்ஸ் என்ன மேட்ச் என்ன டீம்னே தெரியாம இருக்கானடா
எஸ்ஆர்எஸ்
குடி தனியா குடி
RB again was well aware, but it's just the timing. We mentioned it, the jump, the risk of jumping out that window, and the next round they jump out the window again. They don't care what the risk is, they can make it work.
He not only jumps at the window, but with 10 seconds left, when he can play Ringer Rosie and wait for backup, he swings wide.
Roman edit TP ana.
It would be so frustrating. I'd love to see the silly mistakes he's made. He's 20 and 9.
அவங்களுக்கே தெரியாது.
ஏ புஷ் பண்றாங்க. சோலோ ஏன் பேக் அடிக்குறான்.
இங்கேயோ ஏன் வச்சு எங்கேயோ வந்தா.
ஹோல்ட் பண்றாங்க.
When this happened, 100 Thieves were
all
down and the trade came in quickly.
இப்ப அவங்களால லைவ் பார்க்க முடியாதுல்ல?
யாரால?
ப்ளே பண்றவங்கனால.
ஏன் பார்க்க முடியாது.
அப்பயும் எப்படி கரெக்ட்டா அங்க கேம்ப் அடிக்கறாங்க நாங்க போறதே இல்ல.
நமக்கு இல்லாதது.
அப்படியே bro எவ்வளவு வாட்டி பட்டிருப்போம் அந்த மாதிரி தான்.
இருக்கலாம். வாங்க அடியெல்லாம் வரும் திருப்பி.
அவன் அங்க ஒருத்தர் இருக்கான். ஐயோ இப்போ வந்து சைஃபர் வாசஸ் ஓமன். எங்க டிபி டா. ஓ மை காட். என்ன டிபி அது டேய்.
என்னடா பண்ணலாம்?
வந்து பொசிஷன் ஹோல்ட் பண்ணிட்டாங்க ஏல நல்லா.
ஓமன் அல்ட்.
ரைட் போட்டாங்க போனா.
தெரியல.
அல்ட் கேன்சல் பண்ணிட்டானோ.
பிளான் பண்ணிட்டாங்கல்ல?
பண்ணிட்டாங்க.
பிளான் பண்ணிட்டாங்க.
அவ்வளவுதான் ஹோல்ட் பண்ணாலே வின் ஆயிடலாம் இப்போ. உள்ள விட்டு அடிக்கலாம்.
அவ்வளவுதான் பின்ன.
நான் பிளைண்ட் அடிக்கறான்.
It will be a round win for 100 Thieves.
100 Thieves comeback கொடுக்கறாங்க.
10-8 now, still a healthy enough gap there for Nongshim.
பேர் வின் பண்ணுவா.
100 T தான்.
டிப் ஓபி டிபி இது.
It was after already taking control of the site, already shutting down.
bro என்ன bro தலைமையில ஏதோ இருக்குது உங்களுக்கு.
பாம்பு. விஷாலனா இருக்காரு.
So much information over to the attack. They were able to get comfortable in their post plants.
Okay, யார் ஜெயிச்சாங்க ரவுண்ட்ல?
100 T.
A game of
8-10
நல்லா இருக்கு ப்ரோ.
இங்கடா மாலி போட்டான்.
எங்க மாலி போட்டாமா?
ரூஃப்ல
கூட பாரு.
ஏன் 100 கிராஷ் பண்றாங்க? என்ன செட் கிராஷ் பண்றாங்க?
என்ன சென்ட் பண்ண முடியும்னு நினைக்கிறாங்க ரிஸ்க் பண்ணா. இவங்க பேனிக் ஆகுறாங்க 100 T.
திரும்ப ஏ போனா மாட்டிப்பாங்க இப்போ. மாட்டிக்கிறாங்க அவ்வளவுதான்.
100 T பேனிக் ஆகுறாங்க. பிளான் பண்ண போறான் இப்ப.
ரயான் மாதிரி அல்ட் போடுறான் அவனும்.
இல்ல அல்ட் போட்டு பிளான் பண்றதுக்கு.
சேஃபா ஓபன் பிளான்ட். ஏன் என்ன அவன்
யார கடிக்குறான் அவன்?
தெரியல.
என்னடா பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காங்க பிளான்ட் போடுற ஸ்பான்ல. ஐயோ டீம் ஃபுல் அங்கதான் இருக்கு. செத்துறோம் போனா.
மாட்டா.
ஓபன்
சைபர் வெயிட் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கான். ஓகே நைஸ் ஷாட்.
100 தான்.
ஐவி மட்டும் இருக்கான். அவ்வளவுதான்.
ப்ரோ பெட்
பெட்டலாம் இல்ல.
என்ன பெட்?
யார் வின்னாங்க இந்த ரவுண்ட்?
ஆமாடா ராக்ஸ்டார் இந்த மேட்ச் வந்து என்ன ஸ்பின் பண்றாங்கன்னா நான் உனக்கு கொரோனா நைஃப் கிஃப்ட் பண்றேன். 100 views வின் பண்றாங்க. நான் உனக்கு நீ எனக்கு கொரோனா நைஃப் கிஃப்ட் பண்ணனும்.
நான் NS சப்போர்ட் பண்றேனே சொல்லு.
நீ யாரை ஜெயிச்சன்னு சொன்ன? யாரை சொன்ன நீ? NS தான சொன்ன?
நான் ரெண்டு பேருமே இல்லன்னு சொன்னேன்.
டேய் கொரோனா
லைவ்ல பார்க்கலாம்.
நீ 100 T ஜெயிச்சானா எனக்கு என்ன ஜெயிச்சானா கொரோனா வாங்கிட்டா.
சரி என்ன ஜெயிச்சா நான் உனக்கு கொரோனா வாங்கி தரவா?
வாங்கிட்டா.
ஓகே
100 T
கொரோனா
நியான் காலி 45 பேஸ்.
அவ்வளவுதான் 4v4.
ஆமா 4v4 ஈக்குவலைஸ்.
அவ்வளவுதான்
3 ஃபிளாஷ்
3v2. யான் கிட்ட ஆஃப் இருக்கு. போட் தான்
யூஸ் பண்ணிட்டான். சைஃபர் யூஸ் பண்ணிட்டான் ஆல்ட்ட. Neon wall. Okay,
Neon gun
Omen low. உள்ள பக்கத்துல ரைட்ல பாருடா கரெக்ட் டைம்
லாங் போறானா
இல்ல பிளான்ட்
டெஃபினெட்லி
அதுதான் ஓடிட்டான்
ஒரு சைஃபர் டைம் ரன் அவுட் ஆயிட்டு இருக்கு முடியாது அடிக்க மாட்டேன் ஹாஃப் டே ஆயிடுச்சு
அவ்வளவுதான் போனாலும் போதும்
100 டீம் பண்ணிட்டேன்
10-10
ஆமா வின் பண்ணிட்டாங்க
கம்பேக் ப்ரோ
ஈக்குவலா இருக்கு இப்போ ஈக்குவலா இப்போ 10-10
ஆமா 10-10
ஓவர் டைம் வரை போக முடியல அப்போ
even knows the timing of his cam coming back online so we could
நியான் எல்லாம் நல்லா தான் பண்ணான்
ஓமர் கிளியர் பண்ணல பரவாயில்ல அவங்களுக்கு ஸ்பேஸ் பண்ணி கொடுத்தாங்க கொஞ்சம் கிரியேட் பண்ணி நீ அது மாதிரி ஆனடா ராக்ஸ்டார் அது மாதிரி ஆனடா ஒரு ரஷ் அடிச்சிட்டாங்களா அது யூஸ் என்ன ரஷ் அடிச்சிட்டாங்க
கன்னே பை பண்ணல ப்ரோ
எக்கோ நினைக்கிறேன் சோ ரஷ் அடிச்சு சாப்பிட்டாங்க
ஒரே ஒருத்தன் தான் கன்னே பை பண்ணிருக்கான் அந்த டீம்ல
பீல மட்டும் தான் ஓமர் இருக்கான் மோஸ்ட்லி பி புஷ் பண்ணலாம் ஆனா ஸ்பைக் இத டிராப் பண்ணிட்டாங்க
to bounce back in the next round from what
was பண்ணி போவாங்க போல
majority of teams what should be very much so
மாட்னா
they looked at it as a bump in the road they reset they found themselves
ஏல நியான் இருக்கா ரெண்டு பேர் சைஃபர் ரெண்டு பேர்
இருக்காங்க அவ்வளவுதான்
perhaps you'd be right
100
ஏ என்டர் இல்ல ரொட்டேட் அடிச்சாங்க ஏ என்டர்
only pistols remain and a mass
பி ரொட்டேட்டா பி சைஃபர் இருப்பான் நினைக்கிறேன் சைஃபர் கூட பி சைஃபர் இருக்கான் இல்ல சைஃபர்
30 seconds left.
பீதா
ஓகே ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஸ்டெப்ஸ் ஃபீனிக்ஸ் லாங் ஸ்பான் இருந்து ரொட்டேட் பண்றான் ஓன் பேக் ஸ்டாப் பண்றான்
எப்படி
நைஸ் ஷாட் கேஜி
3v3
ஓகே 3v3 பட் கஞ்சி
கன் இல்லையே
ஓ ஈஸி போ 2v
100 கிட்ட ஃபுல் கன் ஃபுல் லோடட் எல்லாம் பட் என்கிட்ட இல்ல
something 100 thieves have done well is just not giving them opportunities, not giving them free fights.
What's on from you? Left பண்றான்.
Unless there's a teammate alongside.
முடியாது.
Exros is not on this spike.
மூணு பேர்.
முடியுமா? just miss.
நான் மேல பாக்குறேன் இவன்.
பொண்ணுங்களா இருக்காங்களே பொண்ணுங்களா
was quick enough.
இத்தனை பேர் பொண்ணுங்க மேட்ச்ல ஒரு பொண்ணு கூட வர மாட்டான்
it came down to the wire
லைவ்ல மட்டும் இருப்பாங்க
it does make early stages I'm thinking wow well that's a great contest from them it's a it's been a lot of close rounds but 100 thieves are edging that victory out every single time so far
for no round bro 100 TK
தொடர்ந்து 100 டீம் வந்து ஜெயிச்சிட்டே இருக்காங்க தொடர்ந்து
டைம் அவுட் அகைன் ப்ரோ ஒருவேளை வைஃபைல பிங் வந்துட்டா என்ன பண்ணுவாங்க நடுவுல
நல்லா பார்த்து போவாங்க
ஒரே ஒருத்தனுக்கு
பிரச்சனை வரலாம் அதெல்லாம் நடந்துருப்போம் போல முன்னாடி கூட
இதெல்லாம் பிங் வந்துட்டு இதெல்லாம் ஒத்துக்க முடியாது என்னாலன்ட்டு அவன் அந்த டீம்ல
அதெல்லாம் மாதிரி எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சு டாக்குமெண்ட்ஸ் எல்லாம் சைன் பண்ணிருப்பாங்க போல அதுக்காண்டியே
அதெல்லாம் பிங்கலாம்
எத்தனை பேர் பாக்குறாங்க மாஸ்டர் லைவ்
நான் மட்டும் தான்
போடுறேன் நம்மளே பாத்துட்டு போனாடா
முப்பத்தேழு பேர் நான் பாத்திருக்கேன் கேஸ் வந்திருக்கு
நான் ஒரு 10 வாட்டி பாத்துட்டேன் நீங்க
மூணு வாட்டி பார்த்தேன்
அம்பி ஒரு 4 வாட்டி 5 வாட்டி பாத்துருப்பான் நீ எப்படி பார்த்தா எப்படி கணக்கு போட்டா நம்ம தான் இது பண்றா
யூனிக் வியூவர்ஸ் ரெடி 37 ஒவ்வொருத்தர் தனித்தனியா
சொல்லு சொல்லு ஸ்டார்ட் ஆயிடுச்சு ரவுண்டு.
ஆயிடுச்சு அடிக்கிறாங்களே தெரியலையா
அடிக்கட்டும்
ப்ரெஸ் பண்றாங்க என்ன ட்ரை அவுட் 100 டிகிரி
பண்ணிட்டாங்க சும்மா
என்ன சொல்லுவாங்க 100 டிகிரி மேட்ச் பாயிண்ட்
எல்லாம் ஃபாஸ்டா முடிஞ்சிச்சு.
ஆமா
பாத்தியா
மொட்டத்துல
வேர்க்குது அவனுக்கு.
100 ஃபர்ஸ்ட் பயந்துட்டு இருந்தாங்க, இப்ப அந்த பிரஷர் போயிடுச்சு.
ஆமா பட் ரெண்டு ரவுண்ட் தான் ஆகும். ரெண்டு ரவுண்ட் தள்ளி இருக்கு.
இன்னும் ஒரு ரவுண்ட் தான்.
ஓடின் பாரு.
அதான் இந்த ரவுண்ட் பார்த்து ஆடுவாங்க அவங்க.
ஆமா ஓடின் எடுக்கிறதுல என்ன இருக்கு, பிரச்சனை இல்லையா அது.
ஆமா சொல்றேன், அதான் ஓடின் எடுக்கிறது என்ன இருக்கு, ஓடின் எடுக்கட்டும். நம்ம எடுத்தா பிரச்சனை.
ஒரு வாட்டி கூட எடுக்க மாட்டான்.
திருப்பி மாலி
அப்புறம் மாலி எங்க போறான் பாரு ஒருத்தரே. மாலி போடுறேன் கடவுளுக்கு போடுறியாடா
திருப்பி
மாட்டுவாங்கன்னு தோணுது ப்ரோ. இப்போ
மாட்டி வாங்க போறேன்.
மாட்டினா
இன்னொரு கம்மியா
பண்றாங்க எல்லாரும் ஏதான் ஹோல்ட் பண்றாங்க இப்போ. அல்ட் ஐயோ
இவன் எங்க போறான் அல்ட்? அப்பதான்
சி பிளான்ட்
பிளான்ட் ஆகல
பிளான் பண்ணிட்டாங்க ப்ரோ.
பண்ணலாமா இது ஆல்ட் இப்போ வந்து 3v4 இப்போ அங்க இருக்கான். ஐயோ
என்ன சாந்த
பண்ண மாட்டான். அல்ல விட்டுருக்கான் அவனுக்கு உள்ள. ஐயோ என்னடா அது டேய்,
என்னடா காமிக்கிறா?
வேல் ரெண்டு பிளேஸ் தான் இருப்பாங்களா?
இருப்பாங்க.
It's a team who's already hoisted a trophy this year on an international stage.
நெக்ஸ்ட் ரவுண்ட் தான் ரொம்ப இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் ரவுண்ட் வந்து.
ஓ அல்ட்னால தான் வின் ஆயிருக்காங்க.
அவ்வளவுதான். PRX
கூட வின் ஆகலாம்.
பிரஷர் அடிக்கிறாங்களா?
இது யாரு? இது என்ன சிஷா ஓவர் டைம் போகும்.
இல்ல இல்ல 100 தான் வின் ஆகும் இப்போ.
அவ்வளவு நம்பிக்கை. என்ன சொல்றேன் 1v2 1v1
சோ
யார்கிட்ட அல்ட் இருக்கு? யார்கிட்ட இல்ல.
பிளான் பண்றான்.
ஷீல்ட் இருக்கு.
பிளான் பண்ணிட்டான்.
சோ அந்த ரெட் அடிக்கலாம் போல. இதாங்க தான்
எதுக்குடா பாக்குறா? பெனால போறா டேய்.
மோஸ்ட்லி லாங் ஹோல்ட் பண்றான்.
எபிலிட்டியோ இல்ல
ஹோல்ட் பண்றான்.
லாங் ஹோல்ட் பண்றான். ஒன் வே ஸ்மோக்.
இப்போ இந்த ஓமனுக்கு எவ்வளவு பிரஷர் இருக்கும்.
ஆமா சோவா இன்னும் நிறைய இருக்கும்.
இல்ல ஓமன் அவ்வளவு ஒண்ணு இருக்காது ப்ரோ.
ஓமன்
சோவா ட்ராக்கர் வந்துருச்சு இப்போ. சோவா ட்ராக்கர் வந்துருச்சு.
ஆமா சோவாக்கு இருக்கும்.
அவன் வேற வத்த போட்டா
ட்ராக்கர் யூஸ் பண்ணிட்டான்.
மாத்தி போட்டான். இல்ல அவ்வளவுதான். எப்படி ஜெயிச்சான்?
ஆமா அவன் சரியா போல டாட் அந்த சோவா டாட்.
சினிமேட்டிக் ப்ரோ
வந்தா பாத்துறலாம்.
W ப்ரோ அப்சல்யூட் சினிமா ப்ரோ.
அவ்வளவு ஒண்ணும் இல்ல பட் பரவாயில்ல நல்லா இருக்கு. என்ன ப்ரோ அவ்வளவு இன்ட்ரெஸ்டிங் இருந்ததா ப்ரோ உங்களுக்கு கார்டூன் ப்ரோ?
ஏய் நான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட்ல இருந்தே பாக்குறதுனால எனக்கு தெரியுதுடா. சரி என்ன பண்ணாங்க.
ஆமா நீ மட்டும் தான் பாக்குற உன் ஸ்ட்ரீம்.
37 பேர் பாத்து
சப்ஸ்கிரைப் பண்ண சொல்ல எல்லாரும் பாத்து எல்லாரும் 37 பேர்
பாக்குறாங்க. சப்ஸ்கிரைப் பண்ணுங்க.
And versus Nongshim, I'll be honest,
சரிடா
the round 2 of that round, I thought they would be
ஓகே
moved. I thought they
PS5 gift வந்துரும்ல எனக்கு கம்ப்யூட்டர் அப்படியே பார்த்துட்டு PS5
off against chaos ensued.
கார்பன் ப்ரோ ஒரு PS5
ப்ரோ
எனக்கு
பெங்களூருக்கு
பெங்களூருக்கு ஆமா நானும் பெங்களூர் தான் எனக்கு பெங்களூர்
As 100 thieves will step on this stage one
நான் போய் ரயான் ரூம்ல போய் ஆடுறேன்
ப்ரோ ஹாஸ்டல்
கேம் ஆடுறேன் ப்ரோ
ஹாஸ்டல்
And for Nongshim, it was a massive return, but
Steam
not
close
today.
They made a deep run. They can be proud of that. They put out some big teams in a big way.
They're definitely back.
They're back.
என்ன நடக்குது
Dota game ஆடுவாங்களா
100 thieves, an unbelievable display from this squad here
சரி
today.
வேலரண்ட் போலாமா நம்ம போலாமா
நம்ம போலாம்
ஆடாக்ஸ் போலாமா லைவ் போட அப்படியே வேலரண்ட் லைவ் பேக் டு வேலரண்ட் லைவ் போடு
பிரேக் லைவ் ஒன் போடுங்க
Alongside Lou and Ian Chambers.
Absolutely. Look, we started this day with a huge question: who will be our grand finalist?
இத பார்த்துட்டு இப்போ இதே மாதிரி ப்ளே பண்ணலாம் ஓகேவா
100 thieves and standing by with us sooner right now. That must feel like such a huge accomplishment. Feels like a long time coming and a real chance to make history.
Yeah, it feels amazing. I'm so happy to make my first top 2 grand finals appearance, and especially in front of such an amazing crowd.
Bro, காரணம் bro